What's up, guys? Once again, this is a new Interviewing You, Interviewing Me special edition part of the vlog. Now, there's going to be a lot of these interviews now. Today we have a new guest on, a fellow filmmaker, fellow videographer, goes by the name of Blake Mihavics, and he has a company called BAM Videos, right?
Yep.
BAM Videos?
Yes.
Cool. So, here we are. How are you doing today, Mr. Blake Mihavics?
As usual, I'm doing awesome. I always try to keep the most positive mindset that I can in any scenario.
That's right.
You know, everyone's... So many people are being Debbie Downer because this happened, that happened, the other thing happened.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Dear God, shut up. You're vertical with a pulse. Go do something about it. Yeah.
Me and Blake have worked together a couple of times. He's been a PA and like a BTS videographer on some of my projects.
Yes.
He actually snapped a couple BTS photos for the WHITAKER commercial that I shot and directed last year.
I think that was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first time that we worked together, I think, but we had met before, I think.
Yeah, we had met before that, but whenever he told me about that, I'm thinking, that sounds stupid simple. That sounds like a one person, but I went ahead and went with it. I'm like, you know what? New opportunities, let's see what happens. And I could not have underestimated it more. I mean, what we were doing required more than two hands. I wasn't even thinking about
sure.
it, you know.
And it's great that, you know, with that, you know, how that project came out.
Yes,
so, anyway, let's get on started with the interview. So, I guess the first question is, or not really a question, but just tell the audience who you are, your name, and that kind of stuff, what you do in your profession.
Well, to start off with, as you just said, my name is Blake Mihavics. I like to go by either Blake Allen M or just BAM to keep it simple, because I know that my last name is kind of a jumbled up.
Mihavics.
Yeah, I know it.
What is that originated from?
Czechoslovakian.
I should have known. Usually anything with a V has some Czech something.
So yeah, and you know, whenever people come to that last name, they get so jumbled up and so good. The closest that I've had it is Mihavics. I'm like, close, like you're adding an extra C in there. But at any rate, I'm just keeping it simple, you know, Blake Allen M, or just simply straight out BAM. It's essentially it's my unofficial nickname that has been adopted just because Blake Allen Mihavics BAM.
So what do you do as far as what's your
what I do, basically everything video, everything digital cinema. You know, I've shot video for multiple different live events. That's basically how I got my start, was actually whenever Room 101 was open here in Fort Wayne. They had their end of the world rave, you know, their 12-21-12 apocalypse rave. Everybody probably really remembers that rave.
12-21-12-11, that sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, 12-21-12, and everyone probably remembers that apocalypse that happened, you know, it's like, and they, of course, threw a rave for it, and I'm like, I wonder if I could get in to shoot this, and it was an awesome experience. I loved it so much. I wasn't one for raves, I wasn't one for parties, I wasn't one for large crowds, and I had even went to 2 raves before that just to see, you know,
what it was about,
what it was all about. I liked the crowd, I liked the energy, I liked the music, and I was really enjoying it, except for the fact that I was just standing in the corner observing everything. I didn't feel comfortable to dance. I felt like a creeper watching the girls, and the guys were doing these awesome stunts that I would never be able to pull off. And I'm like, okay, I enjoyed it, but I was just there, taking a space. But whenever I had the camera in my hands, everybody came up to me, they wanted to do stupid shit in front of the camera and everything like that.
Yeah, everybody likes that. Whenever people see someone with a camera, they think it's their time to shine. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they want to have their 5-second of fame or whatever the hell.
And, you know, and it dawned on me that, you know, the camera makes me fearless. I can go up and just hit record, and people will do things or whatever like that, and that's how you get connections and everything like that. It's like, oh, where are you going to post that? Here, let me give you my social media stuff and everything like that. So I got my start in that, and a couple of DJs that DJ'd for that night also DJ'd for Early Birds at the time, and I started going there every Saturday night for Super Sexy Saturdays, and got
filming some of the stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the main reason why I went was to just I was experimenting with it. I got in for free because I was essentially giving away a service for free, basically, and so I just played around with the editing software that I had at the time, and that's essentially how I learned. And eventually I got into other aspects, other styles of videography and cinematography, but I've always enjoyed the live entertainment and live shows and everything like that, because you really get to connect with everyone as long as you do it right.
Right, absolutely.
So... And I've already been a writer anyway. I started writing whenever I was in high school.
Man. I mean, that's kind of how I got into it. I really came into it. I always tell people I came into it from Godzilla, which is one of the big reasons. But like, when I started watching Godzilla and then anime and just cartoon and playing video games, like I started writing my own stories because I saw the creative difference from. Honestly, it's gonna sound crazy, but I saw the creative difference from real life to these shows, and I was like, you know what? I want to write my own realities or write my own little craziness into something, and make it. Okay, so that's cool. So you just so how did you become like interested in like filmmaking and videography? What was because I mean it's always interesting like for me all the different filmmakers I've met. I'm like, all right, what did they do to become a filmmaker? Like I know my upbringing, but what was your upbringing to say to yourself, all right, this is what I'm interested in, and this is what I'm going to pursue.
Right. I've always enjoyed the complexity in it and the just piecing things together to create a story or create a message, or even both, really, if you do it right. I've always enjoyed, whenever I was growing up watching the different animated movies, I did grow up watching Disney movies and everything like that, like everyone else did.
Like everyone else. I didn't really watch a lot of Disney movies, to be honest, back in the day. I watched like Lion King, of course. That was like the best.
I've probably seen, at this point in my life, I've probably seen about half the Disney movies that came out whenever I was a kid at most.
Right.
So, but it was definitely enough to make an impact on me, and I just loved the idea of using technology and art to create something that people would get emotionally invested with, or really make them think about something in maybe a different way that they didn't think of, or whatever like that.
Absolutely. I mean, for sure.
It was so fascinating to me, and I'm like, I wonder if I could possibly pull this off. So I just started writing. Of course, the first thing I wrote up was cheesy as hell, but
that's everybody's stuff.
Yes.
I mean, I look back at the stuff I wrote. It was funny, man. Like, I still have some of the very old like papers and stuff like all the different like film ideas and characters I created. So I had this one project that I still want to do. I'm not gonna get into it too much, but it was actually like. It was inspired by Dragon Ball Z, Sonic the Hedgehog, an anime called Inuyasha, one of my all-time favorite animes, and then Naruto. So like it was inspired by all this anime stuff, and basically like I put myself as the character. I put myself as a lot of these characters in the stories,
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
definitely.
It was basically like it was funny because like when I wrote this story. I was basically almost taking everything from these other shows and putting it in my own show. Like I would turn Super Saiyan and shit, and that kind of stuff. I thought it was funny, but at the same time, it's like all that stuff back then is cheesy. But then once you grow up and you see more media and more material, and you kind of open your mind to other things, I mean, everything becomes it's kind of crazy to see your work change and shift into something more mature,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean that's a huge thing. I mean, so if that's how you like got started in the film, I mean, what was like do you remember like the very first thing you shot? Or do you actually? So backtrack that. Do you remember the first camera you got, and then do you also remember the first thing you shot?
God, I remember that I had a DSLR camera that my grandma gave me for graduation, and at the time, at that point in time, I still didn't really know that I had such an interest in videography.
Right, you just had
I had the camera. It was a nice camera, and I wound up running into some battery problems with it. So and the thing is, it just sat there too. for a little while, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not really using this. I don't really have a use for it. I cannot remember for the life of me. PowerShot. Canon PowerShot.
Yeah. Was it one of them point and shoot cameras, or was it actual DSLR?
I think it was an actual DSLR.
Okay. It was just very like, it's obviously not like a T5i.
Oh God, no,
yeah, that kind of
not
thing.
by any means. But you know, so and I shot a couple of videos with that I wouldn't know where to begin to look for them, honestly, at this
Did
point.
you post them somewhere, like on YouTube?
No, I didn't.
Facebook, MySpace. You guys remember MySpace? Yeah, back in that time.
LinkedIn.
I don't even know if you could post videos on MySpace. I can't remember.
But
That's
no,
funny.
but no, I didn't post them anywhere. I don't remember what happened with them. But the very first video I ever shot and edited together was the 12/21/12 rave that I was talking about, and that one I uploaded that to Facebook and YouTube, I want to say.
Was that like recently then, when you did that, or was it a couple years back or something like that?
Well, that was 12/21/12.
Oh, so 2012.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
for some reason I was thinking of like, time measures. I don't know.
No, the actual apocalypse, 12/21/12.
Oh.
But no.
I didn't even know that was an apocalypse. I didn't even know
right,
exactly. I didn't even know that people did it that way. Like, that's the apocalypse. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's
but
funny.
yeah, no. I uploaded that. I want to say I uploaded that to YouTube and then posted the link to Facebook, but I'm not remembering exactly how I did it.
Right.
But I do remember that I was getting a lot of praise on Facebook from the DJs that were there and shot and DJ'd that night and everything, and that felt just as good as, you know, people that wanted to get in front of the camera and everything like
absolutely.
that. And so, but as far as like my earlier work, that video legitimately took me a year to edit.
Really?
And it wasn't.
I know that. I've had that feeling plenty of times, people.
And
Enigma documentary out now.
Right. and the hell of it is, it's not any different, on the surface at least, it's not any different from any of the other EDM videos that I have done with Electric Spring, or Electric Promotions rather, with any of the other nightclub EDM videos, whatever like that.
Yeah.
It's just that it was the first video I'd done. I was getting used to Final Cut Pro on an old Mac desktop, and I was just getting used. I was learning it for the first time, so I had no clue what I wanted to do with any of the footage whatsoever. So and so not knowing what I wanted to do with it kind of stalled the initial process of actually doing it. And one day I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go in there. I'm going to find a copyright-free track that is similar to the style of music that was played that night.
Oh, so that's always so hard, man.
And
it's hard to find royalty-free music.
Yeah, and I found one that I liked, and I literally just started editing the footage and manipulating the footage around the sounds and the beat of the music.
Right, yeah.
And that worked out so perfectly. Even like the guy that works here at the library saw the video that I had done, and he was quoted as, you know, the guy that he knows Premiere Pro left and right, inside out, backwards and forwards. And whenever he saw the video that I had done, he's like, "How did you do that?" I'm like, I just sticked around with it. I literally just played around with it. So it's like, you know, and I'm like, okay, there's something here. There's I really, aside from the fact that I had such a hard time with the process, I also loved it at the same time.
Right, exactly.
So, you know,
it's pretty cool.
And after that, you know, it was just a matter of just repeating it. Before I knew it, I was able to turn around the video like within a week or less time. You know, and they would range anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes long. Yeah. And it was just the same. It was the same style of editing, but at the same time, it was on a more complex level sometimes. Yeah. And I know people love it, and
exactly.
I love it.
That's good, yeah, for sure. All right, so you've had a good amount of experience. So what kind of what kind of work have you done specifically, like, I guess, within your business and within your field of videography and that kind of stuff? What kind of work have you created?
The type of work that I've created mostly, and some of it's recent, some of it not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a little bit of focus with vlogging for a while on YouTube, and my earlier work, very, very cringeworthy, as everyone's is. Because I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. I was trying to talk into the camera and everyone was looking at me funny. Or I was just rambling on about essentially nothing and stammering over my words like crazy. And like, you know what? I'm just not that kind of personality. Mm-hmm. You know, I can talk and have a conversation with one person or a small group of people, whatever, mm-hmm. like that. But I'm not one to, you know, stand in front of a crowd or whatever like that and just randomly talk like that, or even into a camera, because then I've been sometime in the process of vlogging to figure out what I wanted to vlog about. I decided that, you know what, instead of just rambling into a camera mm-hmm. about what it is that either I wanted to do for my day, or what I did for my day, or what was about to happen in the process of happening, you know, I would just simply vlog what it was that I was doing, point of view.
Right, yeah.
You know, and which just, you know, naturally let the story unfold on its own. Unfortunately, at the time that I was doing that, I wasn't really doing very much with my life on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. So going daily wasn't really an option. And
as far as daily vlogging and stuff, yeah, that's hard for me, man. I mean, like for STEFON's vlogs, like how I do it is, it's kind of weird. Like for a while, I took kind of a break away from the vlog for a little bit to focus more on the actual work that I was doing with SW Films.
Right.
But then when it was actually time to get back on the vlog, I'm like shit, what am I going to talk about? You know, like, well, I mean, I can easily talk about what I've been going through, but at the same time, I look at people like Casey Neistat, for instance. Sometimes I feel like, you know, he's like one of the most popular YouTubers out there, but at the same time, I feel like there's probably times where legitimately some of the stuff he might put on his vlogs are not as important. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not like it's not like he literally has like I'm not sure. Casey Neistat, shout out, but like. I don't know if he has like Monday to Sunday like planned out completely. This is what I'm talking about within my vlog. Sometimes it's just random stuff, and that's kind of what vlogging is capturing stuff in the moment.
I'll bet you anything that it's a balance of, you know, sometimes shit happens that you don't expect to happen. Other times you make a plan, and half the time it may fall through, half the time it may pull through. But the thing with daily vlogging is that the problem that I ran into with daily vlogging, and I, you know, say daily vlogging very loosely because maybe I did it for a week. Yeah. And it's solid. And that was
daily vlogging is hard. Maybe weekly. I'll stay on weekly. The only way I could do daily vlogging is someone else filmed me.
Right, yeah.
You know, instead of me having to do it.
But like, and the main thing is like, I wanted my vlogs to concentrate on not only just my day-to-day experiences, mm-hmm. but also my tech too, because I'm a tech enthusiast. I love my tech and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And I love the process of editing, so I wanted to also showcase, you know, a little bit of editing. I wound up going so far into showcasing my editing process that I was literally editing a vlog of a vlog.
Editing a vlog of... That's a mouthful.
Yeah. I was literally what the hell you said. I was just... the one day I shot a bunch of footage mm-hmm. from my day, and then that night I would edit that vlog. Well, I'm like, okay, to prep myself for this, for the next day, I'm just gonna go ahead and start shooting my vlog for the next day. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, why not have the outro be me editing today's vlog for tomorrow?
Right, yeah.
But the problem with that is that you start getting into a repetitive cycle of I'm editing this video of a video that I've edited, of a video that I've edited, you know.
Right.
The next thing I know, crazy. all of my videos, all my vlogs are just me editing the previous video. Mm-hmm. For the most part, it's like, wait a minute, no.
So like most of the work that you started in the beginning was just vlogging, basically, kind of in that route.
Right. Yeah, vlogging and
did you ever like kind of film, I guess? So you did the vlogging, but did you ever like kind of create, I guess, take a chance to film like some of your own like creations or stories that you may have written up?
Well,
or was it just vlogging?
I mean, I've got like I've got one. Yeah, I can't even. Yeah, technically, I've got one short movie out there right now.
Okay.
Or at least I had one. It's privated now on my Vimeo channel because, in all honesty, I went back to it a week later to rewatch it, and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Where it was one of my boudoir videos where it was early, way early.
It was the one that I seen, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and I was experimenting with a style that I had recently discovered and that I absolutely fell in love with the first time I saw it, which was those really long, drawn out one-take shots.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Chivo.
Oh God, I love those. Conjuring was where I got introduced to that, essentially. Conjuring and God, something else, but it was Conjuring that I was introduced to that with. That the one scene where the car drives up to the house and everyone's just unpacking because they just moved. The whole family is unpacking the car, and you got all this.
For the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Okay.
The family's unpacking their vehicle, and everyone's basically just getting ready just working on getting moved in. And the camera is literally starting out with side of the house with the vehicle. It goes in and throughout the whole house and everything like that. I love that.
And a lot of people don't realize is that usually a lot of takes like those that have those that will start outside and then go inside. A lot of that stuff sometimes obviously is like they'll probably squeeze in one shot, and it's just the editing process makes it like so. Okay, so they'll do 3 separate shots, like one to go outside, then maybe something to kind of start from black. Or start outside, end in black, start from black, and then they'll go from the inside. They'll just kind of do the editing.
Right.
We'll squeeze it into one shot. I definitely love stuff like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love doing stuff like doing specific shots like that and everything.
And go figure, someone like me would just absolutely love arguably the most complex thing to do in cinematography, probably ever. I mean, I honestly can't think of anything more complex to do than to literally have just one long drawn out shot that everyone has to have perfect timing and everything like that with.
Yeah.
That things just have to happen at a certain time, even if it doesn't seem like it. Because with that scene with Conjuring, it literally looked like the directors. I could easily see where the director said, "Okay, everyone just work on moving in." And the camera will just move. Obviously, avoid hitting the camera.
Right.
And
they have to go through a pretty vigorous blocking. A lot of the blocking there has to be very precise because I mean, and that's what I love about film is like the characters and the subject that's in the camera. If there's a lot of moving and stuff going on, in this scene or something like that, like you have to kind of figure out how you can create that perfect dance, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like the characters are dancing around the camera in such a way, and the camera has to kind of form its own dance to where it's like almost in certain movies where it becomes like a character on its own. Like, have you ever seen Birdman? You ever seen that?
I have not.
Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I know what you're talking about. I've just never seen it myself.
So when I said Chivo is his real name is Emmanuel Lubezki. He's in my opinion, he's my favorite cinematographer in the world.
Nice.
Still shout out to Roger Deakins, still one of the greatest. But like Chivo though, like that movie was like a complete one take. Now obviously it wasn't a complete one take, but to the audience, it looks like it's completely seamless from top to bottom. And just the way the character or the way the camera had moved and whatnot, it just made it feel like it was its own character, the camera. You know what I mean? And I love stuff like that. I always try to work on having the most, the nice little move or nice little slow kind of move. And it depends. It's kind of hard to do it sometimes when you have that little crappy fly cam that I have.
Definitely.
But
my favorite that I've seen so far, I've literally only seen like a few of these type of shots. But my favorite that I've seen so far is the one from Don't Breathe. where the camera goes through the house as they're going through the house.
Oh,
and there's reasoning for it. It's not just because, you know, it looks nice and everything like that, but there's reasoning for it. It's because of the fact that then it sets in the audience's mind the whole layout of the house.
Right.
So that way, nitpickers like myself can't go back to that and say, okay, look, this person was in this room, and then they want to get to this room. You know, they want to get over here to this room, but then all of a sudden that room is actually this room over here.
It's insane.
They can't nitpick that.
Yeah.
But like you were saying again, that some of those long drawn out shots are really like 2 or 3 takes that are sewn together to make it look like it. And they did it so well that I swear to God, it could have gone either way because it went through the floor. But here's the thing about that is that sometimes what they can do is they can have the set of the house built in such a way that
where it can work like that.
Where they can actually, you know, work like that. Or it could have been edited in to make it look like that really easily too. Either way, it could have.
Either way, just like in the audience standpoint, it's just like, wow, like that's the way that like you're right. I mean, the way the certain cinematography and certain films can really set an emotion for the audience. You know, like the one movie, I don't know if you ever heard of it, called Arrival. Have you heard of that movie?
I've heard of it.
So that movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve, one of my favorite directors of all time recently. He also directed Blade Runner 2049, which is amazing too. Yep. And but like the opening shot of Arrival, I don't know what it was. I always tell this story, but like the opening, I remember I went to the movie theater by myself to watch it, and then like the opening shot, it's kind of a basic kind of shot, but you hear like some, I think you hear the music and stuff, you hear the soundtrack, then it just starts in black and then just kind of like pans or tilts down onto like this crazy like beautiful horizon. It's like kind of dusk and this beautiful house with this nice window. I think there was like a beach outside. I don't know why, but just that entire shot along with the music and just everything, I just started crying for some reason.
Wow.
Like I started crying in like a not like but I started crying like I started crying in like a way where I was like, wow, this is fucking beautiful. I mean, that's how I want people to look. I mean, I'm sure it's the same for you. That's how you want people to look at your work. Like they see something and they just fucking hearts just explode in a good way.
Right? Yeah.
You
definitely.
Okay, so
to actually answer your question and give you the short version of it at this point, I don't have any of my own official like movies right now. I'm working on it. I've got.
It's a tough thing, man. Especially.
I've got literally at least a basic outline of ideas for every single genre out there. Any genre you could possibly throw my way, I guarantee you, I've got at least a basic idea of a script for one. Unfortunately, because because of the fact that I'm not in a position to pay anyone.
It's tough.
Volunteer help falls short 9 times out of 10, and that's the biggest problem that I'm having right now. It's not that no one thinks that my ideas suck or anything. Everyone likes my ideas so far. I have had some constructive criticism about some things, which whenever I look at them, okay, yeah, I'll grant you that, and we'll see what I can do. But just the process of finding people that are willing to stick through, even for just like one of my short inspirational drama videos that I have in mind. That I've got one scene that requires 3 people, and it's the smallest scene that is in this. That would be a part of this short movie. I just kept on pushing and pushing, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting it on the back burner. I'm not quitting. I'm too bullheaded to quit. I'm too bullheaded to quit.
You gotta be. You gotta be in this profession.
There's a point in time where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put this on the back burner. I'm gonna come to it later. Right now, I'm gonna concentrate on something else that might have a better outcome. And especially for like the sake of not wasting my time on it, the money that's involved.
Yeah, sorry for the cut there, guys. My SD cards are trash. Okay, so yeah. Tell me more about band video. So obviously you've already like I understand why you named it BAM, because it's your name.
Right.
Like mine is SW Films, you know, and pretty obvious STEFON WHITAKER Films, and yours is obviously Blake Mihavics Video. So, first of all, when did you decide that you actually wanted to like create a business over this or around your craft?
Oh God, you know what? I couldn't nail down a specific date if my life depended on it. It was a gradual thing. Mm-hmm. It was a matter of eventually come to the conclusion that I love doing this enough, despite the fact that most of my paycheck from my job, from any part-time job that I had, was taken up by it. Just because I love the process of it, I loved, you know, the delivery, hitting that export button every time, hitting that upload button every time,
watching,
and getting people's reactions to, you know, birthday videos or what have you. That really just sold it for me in the whole process. So, and I've been hearing, you know, I've been seeing left and right where people are actually making at least a decent living off of being, you know, essentially what I am, independent videography, independent cinematography, that they're shooting videos for, you know, they're shooting music videos and wedding videos and birthday videos and whatever.
Right, for sure.
So, and I'm like, okay, so there is a business to be had here.
Right, and that was going to be basically part of that same question. I mean, I guess where did you get the idea from? Because usually, like it was funny. I think the only way that I could have gotten my head like, all right, I'm gonna start a small little production company on this is when I went to film school. Like I probably would have never thought about it. like when I was going into film school, I didn't think, all right, I'm gonna have a small production company and I'm gonna shoot such and such videos for clients. You know what I mean? Right. I didn't think that.
I guess that when at least one element that went into it, most definitely subconsciously, was you know, whenever I was shooting those EDM videos in those nightclubs and everything like that, and I was asking the DJs, I'm like, okay, so what advice do you have for me as far as getting to the next level, getting to the next point? You know, I want to get out of Fort Wayne, I want to go to, you know, these other different places that have a much more thriving video business market for small independent creators. And they said I've been doing, you know, DJing at private parties and weddings and stuff like that too, because apparently the clubs don't pay that much.
Right.
You know, but whereas, you know, if you're doing it for you know, someone that they own their own business that's more than just a mom and pop coffee shop or whatever like that, then you can really sit down and negotiate that price tag and everything like that. And especially when someone mentioned, you know, shoot, you know, a Sweet 16 party or something like that, I'm like, okay, I know what a Sweet 16 party is. I've never seen one before. I don't know what all goes into it. And whenever I literally Google imaged Sweet 16 party, search, and I'm like, dear God, this is...
There's probably a lot of weird shit probably popped up when you type that in.
Won't go into that for legal reasons.
Funny. But, okay,
So, and whenever I saw what all went into a Sweet 16 party, I'm like, this is comparable to a freaking wedding!
Right.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
For someone who's, you know, I guess a legal consenting age to have sex, that, I'm like, really? What is this? What is
crazy? I mean, so as far as like so you've done, as far as within your business, like when you actually like created it, did you kind of have like already kind of things planned out, like what specific things you were going to do within your business? Or was it like kind of a spur of the moment, like, all right, you got this, you got an opportunity to shoot this, and you shot it, and then you got an opportunity to shoot this, and then you shot it.
Right. It was. I've been all over the board with it, in all honesty. Both of your examples for answer are correct, are right. You know, I essentially went down every single avenue that I could possibly think of, and thought of steps that I needed to take that I thought that I needed to take to get to those points.
Right.
You know, I was promoting myself on all social media platforms, with the exception of Snapchat, because
Snapchat's a little. You can do it. It's tough. I'm not really on Snapchat a lot either. If I do post Snapchat, it's just whatever the hell I'm doing. I don't really
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all those different things. I'm talking about it to basically everyone that I run into, that I have even small talk with, that, you know, I'm a videographer, by the way, so, you know, and, you know, I was going down as many different avenues as I could possibly think of going down, and everything like that. So, can you repeat your question again? I'm having a brain
Well, I mean, I kind of went off on a tangent too, but I mean, I guess like did you? So when you got band videos going, did you know that you were going to be doing like the live event video? Did you know that was going to be one of the main like things that you do within your company, or did it kind of take just a couple times for you to actually like go through and do those projects,
right? And
then it's like, all right, this is going to be one of the main things that I do for band videos.
You're not. Yes and no.
Yes and no?
Yes and no. I already knew that I enjoyed shooting live event videos and that I was good at it and that people liked it. That much was a given. And it was already going to be an automatic for me. It was not any question about it that I would do that regardless. You know, if I heard about a live event going on,
you were like,
I was going to be there regardless if I was invited or not, just so that way I can put my name in people's heads. I also had the idea that I wanted to do the more private videos too, so that way if I shot one of my friends from high school, she has a little kid that I shot a couple of birthday videos for him 2 consecutive years in a row. And basically I was taking up pretty much every opportunity that involved picking up a camera, regardless, almost regardless of what it was that I was shooting. There are 2 things that I do not feel comfortable with shooting. It's whenever people want to put hard drugs into their videos, or advocating for violence, like flinging around a semi-automatic weapon just for the sake of saying
That's funny,
right to bear arms. Shut up, you're an idiot.
It's funny. So a couple things on that. That's funny. So me personally, live videos, I actually stopped doing live event, like not really live event videos, but because whenever I think of live event videos, I'm thinking of like live streaming. But live, like event videos and stuff like that, I stopped doing those completely, just because I hated doing them a lot of times. But a lot of times when I wanted to do, or a lot of times that I did do those projects, like I was doing them by myself. And I'm already a one-man show at SW Films, but like when I try to get a PA or something to help, it's like no one's available at the time. And it's like, fuck. Excuse my language, but fuck. I was like, I have nobody to help me to kind of catch up on some slack on things, and it's like, man, I hate that. And like I've gotten used to it, but it's just like with event videos, it's kind of like a documentary in a way, in a very very somewhat of a way, that it's like there's a lot of things going on at once, and you kind of have to try to capture as much as you can.
It depends on how you're editing it.
Yeah, but usually, see, that's the thing too. When I did event videos, I never thought of how I was going to edit it in the way. Right. Like, say if I was doing it for a client. So, matter of fact, actually, like the Trine International, I did something for Trine University not too long ago, and that was kind of like an event video, but it was more like it's a promotion for that specific event. So it was an event video in a way, but not. I would say it wasn't more of an event video within the like the actual product that came out. Like when I did that, I didn't think in my head, all right, this is how I'm going to edit it. All I knew was that, all right, there's a specific song that the client wants to use in the video, and there's specific things that they want me to capture. I didn't think, all right, I didn't like in those kind of projects. I didn't have anything like specifically, this is how I'm going to edit it in my mind. All I know is I have to just come up with some of the information that's already given to me beforehand. Like, all right, what does the client want specifically? Where's the location going to be at? I mean, like how much will I be able to move in and out of a certain space that's going on? Like that's kind of how I looked at doing event videos. But I had one event that I did here in Fort Wayne the end of December last year, 2017, called the Meraki Fest, and I did that video. And I shot it, and it was fun. It was a fun time, but it was bad within the client experience just because like the client didn't meet their expectations of the event, and ultimately it ended up kind of messing up like payment for me, which was trash.
Yeah.
But also it's just like that was one project that I was like, man, I really wish I would have had some help on as far as like capturing everything.
Right.
I still got a whole lot of good footage from that project, but I deleted all that footage anyway. But I just don't do
Never
that.
delete anything ever.
Nah. When it comes to that project, the client didn't care about it, so I was like, I've kind of forced myself to not care about it either, and just deleted the project. That's how I felt about it.
Okay.
And that's kind of and literally that was probably the project that really made me say, all right, I'm done doing these event videos, especially for like clients. And no offense to people who have event videos and stuff, it just really depends. It really depends on what it is, honestly. And also, I think event videos, I can see there's creativity there. I guess it just depends on the event. I just got offered not too long ago for someone to want to do an event or want me to film an event that's actually taking place in Las Vegas, and I was like, to go to Vegas, sure, but I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I get it because like whenever I first started doing live event videos, and even today, kind of. It's easy to see that, at least whenever you're shooting, because for most of the time whenever I was shooting live event videos, I was always in auto mode. Because things were happening, and I didn't know what was going to happen, so I was literally shooting on the fly.
Right, that's how it is.
There's no freaking way that you can predict what,
exactly. You don't know what's going to happen. All you got to know, like, for the event, like if it's an event that has stuff that's like, it's like there's a schedule of certain things that's going on. I want to know what the schedule is so I can kind of pay attention. Like, all right, it's such and such time. Like, I got to do this and do that and be there at this time and shoot this at this time. That kind of thing.
Right, and especially like with the lighting, like with all my electric springs, with all my electric promotion videos, I have to shoot auto. I have to shoot full auto. Of course, I shoot manual for focus. But everything else is auto because the lighting and somebody may jump into the crowd randomly or whatever like that. I've got to be able to literally have a split-second reaction on my trigger thumb to start recording.
Exactly. Yeah.
So on the surface and initially, yes, you are correct. There is very little actual skill that goes into it. It's timing.
Yeah, timing and just all that.
Where the skill comes in, the
skill comes in, I think,
in editing.
Yeah, in editing.
Exactly. Editing. And the level of skill needed to edit a live event video like what I do, it more than makes up for the lack of skill that you need to be able to actually shoot the event.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, I
get it.
Yeah, event videos are just something, man, that I'm just. And that's good though that there's people like and that's why it's good to have creative and collaborative like partners and acquaintances, like, you know what I mean. So if someone said, hey, STEFON, we'd like you to shoot an event video, I'm like, I wouldn't want to do this. I would refer them to you, basically. You know what I mean? Like that's just how the business goes.
That's what I'm used to.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of people who ask me to do there's been some people who's asked me to do wedding videos and stuff, and I always say I don't do them. I don't do wedding videos. I'll pass them off to someone else who does do them. You know,
I probably should, and in the right circumstance,
you get a lot of good money at wedding videos, man.
Yeah, I probably should, and in the right circumstance, I would. Let me know if you want to shoot your wedding. We can talk details, whatever like that.
Hit the boy up.
But the other thing to it is that, and I might not want to say this actually, my opinion.
Go ahead. This is what the platform is here for, man. Talk all that shit.
I mean, just marriage in general, just.
Ooh,
yeah.
We on that tip.
That topic.
Yeah. No, it's not good. Yeah. But okay, I mean.
So just
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, as far as it's good that you're that you have that niche though, specifically like doing event videos
and complete flexibility too. I mean,
and it's good that you have morals. Back to the one thing I wanted to mention too. So you said that you didn't want to film anything that had like drugs or guns in it.
Right.
Now I agree with that too, but I've definitely
drugs or violence.
Drugs or violence. Okay.
Violence more vague,
Yeah, and more. Okay, yeah. So like, I've had. Now I don't want to snitch on myself. It's not even snitching. I've been on, like, when I was in Florida, when I lived in Florida, there was a couple music videos that I didn't specifically shoot, but productions that I was on, either PAing or gaffing. I was usually gaffing on a lot of these projects.
Right.
At least on a lot of those music video projects. And, like, some of the rappers that were there definitely was, you know, they definitely had some of that stuff in there. But, like, me personally, I agree. I think when it comes to production that I do, you know, I wouldn't want them to have any specific stuff that'll get them in trouble, and then of course get me in trouble. Like when I'm shooting anything, I'm there for business. Don't like let's say, you know, say there's somebody, you know, shooting in some of those clubs, or, you know, hey, you want a drink, man? I always say no, I'm good. I'm about the business. That's not my focus, you know.
Right.
When I'm shooting, but I understand. It's like you don't want to have, like, for me instantly, I don't want to work with a lot of rappers that are like real, like, hood, or they're like the trap rappers based. I don't have a problem with that. You know, if they got the money, sure, I'll shoot whatever. Right. You can have all the AKs in your videos. I don't care at that point.
Right.
But it's just like, you know, that's just a moral thing too. It's like, you can leave all that ignorant shit somewhere else.
Right.
But I agree. So next question though is back on with BAM and stuff. Do you personally think that you have, like, enough support in the city, like, throughout your experience, right? Throughout your experience of doing this for however long you've been doing this, have you seen a rise of support, a fall of support? I mean, what do you think? Do you think you have enough support to bring awareness of your business and your company and your crafts and passion and that kind of stuff?
Yes and no. I've never had a flat-out just negative comment or negative remark towards anything that I've done.
Yeah.
Towards any work that I've created, towards any of the directions that I've taken or anything like that, as far as, you know, other people that are also in the same industry as me, or entertainers or whatever. You know, they've all had, for the most part, positive things to say, and verbally very, very supportive. Some of those same people I have actually even collaborated with and made content with and everything like that.
Well, let's separate the two. So, like, the creators who support, but also just, like, the natural, like, the crowd, the audience, like
the overall.
Have you seen support on both sides, or is it kind of one-sided?
It's pretty one-sided. I won't say 100%, but it's pretty one-sided. You know, it's kind of that, you know, we'll, you know, say, you're really awesome, we really like you, you know, let's do something together. You're never going to really know what they're saying about you to someone else.
Right.
You are never going to know.
You never know.
So, you know.
And that's how it goes. I mean, people will show love straight to your face, and then when they leave, it's all this guy, you know, that kind of thing, for sure.
And regardless of, like, you know, someone else's, regardless of that other person's follow-up, you know, I've shot multiple videos, as I said before, with electric promotion, but technically it's really more the electric dancers. I was shooting for the electric dancers, they just happen to be, you know, like the electric promotions. And Amy has, shout out to Amy, by the way, she has had the one critique about one little edit that I do occasionally, which is multi-frame, you know, having multiple videos within a frame type thing.
Kind of like changing the opacity.
Yeah.
Stuff.
No, not so much changing the opacity. Having, you know, 3 or 4 videos in a, you know, 2 or
almost like a
split screen,
like the Brady Bunch kind of thing.
Yeah, that. So that's the one critique that she had for me. She didn't really care for it. Other people did. I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm not. Right. I mean, you're not gonna please everyone with everything that you do.
Exactly.
So, you know, but and like even like social media, for example, on Facebook, I got a notification that she mentioned me in a comment on a post, and the post was about someone wanting a videographer to shoot their wedding. And I'm like, okay, she didn't have to do that, but she did it, and I saw it and everything like that. But that person, you know, I messaged that person. That person never got back with me. So there is support, but it's not that it's not turning out anything tangible.
Okay.
You know, it's
what do you mean by that? By it's not anything tangible?
It's not turning out business. the person never got in contact with me, never replied.
That's an interesting thing. So that's actually I guess
it's not on Amy whatsoever.
Right.
It's not. She did not have to mention me in that comment. So props to her for shouting me out like that and everything like that.
But I know what you mean, because like, okay, for me, for instance, so you know, within my situation, so I did that, you know, the WeHop commercial, and in my opinion, obviously, it was a great video for being 1 minute long, and it helped the business out a lot. You know what I mean? I remember side step, but like I remember WeHop, like after the commercial came out on Facebook or whatever, I remember the owner posted and was like said that there was a whole bunch of cars there like the next like 2 days or whatever, like a whole bunch of people each one. I was like, oh shit, they all saw the commercial, I assume.
Wow.
So cool, you know, whatever. But like at the same time though, when you're talking about that, and I still think this is kind of pouring away from support a little bit, but like the fact that I did the WeHop video, then I did the Trying videos, like it's not, like I did those videos, but it's not like someone reached out to me really and was like, oh shit, like, hey Stefon, we saw SW Film, we saw what you did. Right. And you know, it's not like that kind of antiquated, if I'm using that the right way.
I have no clue.
It's not not antiquated. It didn't equate to
okay, that makes more sense.
Right. It did not equate to me getting clients. But back on the support topic. So I mean, okay, so you're saying that you see more support from the creative side of people, and I definitely know exactly what you're talking about, because I feel that way too sometimes. Like, you know, I feel like, all right, man, I don't have a lot of my friends or family support something that I've done, but all the creators that I've worked with and stuff, they see it and they know what it's like, so they're like, oh man, hey, you did a really awesome job, Stefon, like good job, man, and they share it and stuff, but then. You know, then the other side is like the audience, the crowd, you know, that's watching it is not always super supportive. Right. But I mean, I think that's one of the tough things about doing this kind of job, but also just being an artist in general, is that the thing is and it's crazy. Where I come from in Angola, Indiana, and it's here in Fort Wayne too. It's everywhere, really, depending on what you're doing. Is when you do something like this, when you do something that's not a quote unquote regular structured 9 to 5, day in day out kind of thing, people will not believe it. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a job. I have SW Films is my only job. Right. Like I don't have, like, if we're being straight up honest, I don't have a job.
And I do.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I should have one. I should have something that would to help me pay and shit. But like my thing is, and I think it's just part of my pride. But like also it's just like,
in all honesty, I give you more props to the fact that
and then I'm doing well still. You know what I mean? Like I get money and stuff. It's just that a lot of it's not always super consistent. It's like I'm definitely having to take time to, like, I gotta hustle. And that's the thing, you have to hustle in this job. You know,
not to get confused with the old definition of hustling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you have to hustle. You have to be on your fucking grind every single day. And I can't act like entrepreneurs have to be there all the time.
Entrepreneurs don't limit themselves to 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. They literally work non-stop. With the exception of power naps. I did not say sleep. I said power naps. Right. You know. So
that's tough.
And it's so backwards to me that in today's society that unless you are like way the hell up their successfusness,
then they'll support you.
And you know,
they'll fake support.
Then they'll support you. But you know, if you're
when you're on the climb, it's like
if you're on the climb, then you're lesser than what everyone that's supporting themselves with a 9 to 5 job is.
Exactly, and you know,
and I'm like, that is so back-ass for us.
Right? Yeah, it's crazy, man. Because like for me, my thing is like I've looked at it this way too. Like I know on the creative side, like the entrepreneurs and other creators, other filmmakers and stuff. I know who supports me. And then on the crowd side, I also know who supports me, but I also know who doesn't too. Right. You know what I mean? But at the same time, sometimes I don't always know who does it, because there's also times where I'll go out somewhere and I'll see someone who I never really spoken to, but someone I don't speak to like too often.
Right.
And they'll be like, hey man, like I really see what you're doing, man. You're grinding, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh thanks, man. Like I had no clue you even looked at my stuff.
Right.
You never show the support.
The classic social media stalker. You know that they're there. You know they're following you. They don't comment on anything.
Yeah,
they don't share anything. They don't like anything.
Right.
But then whenever you happen to run into them at the grocery store, hey man, I saw that post
right.
earlier.
And that can either be fake love or true love. And a lot of that stuff that's happening, I believe, is true love though, because it's like they will really tell me how proud of me they are, and they'll kind of show more of their support as time goes through. But yeah, I mean, I think support, especially here in a town, that's a big thing too. So actually, I want you to answer this question.
Okay.
Knowing that there's tons of other filmmakers and videographers here, and realizing that filmmaking ultimately is a team kind of sport, right? In a way, like knowing that there's other videographers and filmmakers that either do the same thing you do, or in the same niche that you do, or whatever.
Right.
Do you think that you have the support compared to them, or do you ever compare? And you never want to compare yourself to another person, but do you kind of look at them and be like, man, like more people are supporting them, they should be supporting me, or like they should be that kind of thing? Do you kind of look at it that way? If that makes sense. Like, do you look at it as, oh man, that guy has all the support in the world, but I don't have it?
I do from time to time, and I stop myself almost instantly, because first of all, that's raising competition, and I keep the mindset of it's not a competition, it's a collaboration. Right. And second of all,
although here in Fort Wayne, they're like, just to keep it all the way 1,000, like here in Fort Wayne, there's always a lot of people. There's a certain amount of people that look at it as only competition, though.
And I guarantee you,
they look at it that way.
And I guarantee you that.
And not only sorry to cut you off, but not only do they look at it that way, but also like sometimes the audience and the crowd will look at it that way too. Sometimes they'll look at it as, oh man, that's the only guy who has, he's the dude. No one else is the dude, just him.
The audience and the crowd will always pit people against each other. I don't care what industry you're talking about. They will always do that. They love the drama that competition can create. Now,
absolutely.
To backtrack a little bit here. As far as like looking at someone almost, saying, well, they're getting a lot of support, I stop myself. I'm like, they most likely, 9 times out of 10, they had to work so seriously hard for that support.
Right. And
at the same time, saying that, anybody can make their life look as glamorous as they want to on social media, and it could all just be complete bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
Of course, I've got a friend, DJ Double K, who, shout out to him. He's one of the DJs that got me my start in videography and EDM videos and everything like that. He's the one that I shot with first over Early Birds. He was down in Maui, Hawaii. He went down there because of his DJ career, and he was also, I think, saving sea turtles or something on the side.
Saving sea turtles?
Yeah, so he was scuba diving and DJing, the two things we love to do in life and everything like that.
What a nice guy, saving sea turtles and...
Yeah, so it's like...
Making the hits.
And,
providing the hits.
And I'm like, okay, so his life is going to look like a millionaire's life for, for the duration of last winter, as a matter of fact. And... I know for a fact that, I don't see all the struggles that he goes through, and part of that is because of the fact that the struggles that people go through don't really matter as much as what the outcome does. It would be nice to, sit down with them and really look it over and everything like that and see, what all did he have to go through to get there, because I'm essentially trying to get to that relative same success level in my own field.
Right.
So to know kind of, the direction that he took and see what I might need to change what steps I might need to take that I haven't thought of yet or something like that. Obviously, if I take the same exact steps, it won't result in the same thing.
Right. Yeah. Especially him being in a different field. And
right. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But
okay. Well, back on that. Back more on support. Like, how's the family support go? You have a lot of support through family and stuff.
Honestly,
as far as with your career,
not really. They are happy that I found something that I want to, that I'm striving for, succeeding wise and everything, and that that I definitely have a drive and a passion for something, and and also they do wish me the best success with it. They're not 100%. They don't 100% like or agree with some of the directions that I've taken with it, because the fact that they're the type, both of them, basically my whole family is the type that you graduate high school, go on to college, and or get a full-time job to be able to support yourself.
They want that. They're kind of used to the basic kind of
the cut and dry,
structure.
the safe route, and I'm thinking, and I'm looking at all of my favorite content creators that have started out essentially where I'm starting out right now. Some better, some worse, and they all took vastly different
steps to
get there.
Routes to get there.
And not only that, and less on that, and more on the fact that some of them, like Matthew Santoro, the one,
shout out him, I love his videos.
Whenever my best friend introduced me to him and his fact videos on YouTube and everything like that, I loved his videos so much. I loved his vlogs so much more. And the fact that he was told in high school to get into accounting because you'll make a lot of money, and he was successful with it, and he did it, but he was still miserable even though he was successful with it. And he got fired, let go, and because of the fact that there simply was not any more work for him. It wasn't anything that he did, it was completely out of the blue. And he was doing videos for YouTube on the side on the weekends. He was not upset about the fact that he got let go, because he saw this as an opportunity to really pursue what he actually loved, regardless of the money that was involved.
Yeah.
And he was hustling hard enough with the video stuff, with his content, that he was able to be very successful. Yeah. Even today, maybe, I guess, family support, I've heard from, my family a few times, and this has raised some not so peaceful debates about what you did going to college for
film and stuff.
Yeah. So, and no disrespect to you, I'm absolutely against it. I'm completely against it. It is way too much of an art form. And even stuff that is cut and dry, do this and do this plus this equals this, even that stuff, I figured that out on my own. And I'm too much of my own mindset and too much of my own person to give a shit about doing what someone else wants me to do, with the obvious exception of whenever I'm collaborating with someone on their project for a period of time. So it's not a cut and dry, safe industry to get into.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I guess to go on to that part, like for me, like I went into film school simply because, one, I didn't film has always been something in the back of my mind. I was like, all right, this is something I want to do, but I never expected a career to come out of it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how a career would be able to help. Like, I don't know where would I start? And I think film school was the first thing that came to my mind, but also it's like, yeah, you could, like now, and there's always a constant debate. I think film school is perfect for, one, just for networking. I think that's the most important thing that film school is most important for, is the people that you meet there. And that's one of the biggest things about this industry, is the people that you know. Because if you get an opportunity to work on such and such set, it's going to come from somebody who you met through film school or someone that you met through whatever project you were working on, that kind of thing.
Right.
So that's kind of how that kind of came together with me. It's like, all right, I wanted to actually learn some more stuff, and Full Sail taught a lot of stuff that I never probably would have known as far as like certain stuff, because like, for instance, like, it's easy, like now the world with film has gone to a digital world as far as like DSLRs and stuff like that, and digital cinema cameras. But like, I don't think I've ever would have been on a project, and I probably would have, but like, I would have never known how to do some of the stuff with like actual film cameras unless I would have went to some film school that had actual film cameras. You know, Full Sail had a film camera, and learning how you have to do stuff, how you have to change some of the film mags like through tents and stuff, because like you don't want the sun to hit it. Like, I would have never really known that shit unless I read a book or went online. Right. So I mean, definitely no take to offense to it, but like, yeah, I think school in general is just one of those things now where it's like, it depends on what you want to do.
I mean, if you want to do like into one of the TV studios, if you want to go to work on someone else's project, if you want to go into news, if you want to go, into something, if you want to get into Pixar or something like that, absolutely 100% go to film school. You will learn everything you need to know about working for someone else. Mm-hmm. But in today's world, where all the information is readily available to you online for literally the price of getting online. I mean, the price of getting online is as cheap as paying taxes whenever you're employed, because you can come to the downtown, you can come to the library and look this stuff up. You can look it up on your smartphone if you paid for your smartphone, pay for data. I won't say it's free, it's definitely already paid for. Mm-hmm. But the fact that so much information is so readily available to anyone and everyone that simply wants to take the time to really look it up, that's where I say, okay, if you're an independent creator, as far as I'm concerned, film school is basically a waste of time and money. Look up whatever it is that you want to look up on how to do it, or even better yet, do it yourself, because you may find a different or better way to do something than what someone else did. You document that, put up online, and the next thing you know, you're giving out advice and information based on what you have found yourself. And my family is not very accepting of that mindset.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, because I think the common knowledge is that parents want you to go to school and get a job. Like, for me, and it's different though. Like, even though I went to film school, like, I don't have a quote unquote regular job. Like, I just created my own company, and I've been doing this, myself. So it's different. I guess you met my mom once before. My mom is the biggest supporter I have. Oh yeah. And, she's very acceptable of a lot of the stuff I do, which is surprising, because I mean, there's a lot of like, it's surprising that my mom, honestly, in my mind, sometimes that she would still let me like do some of the things that I do without having like a regular job, But it doesn't bother her. Like I said, I've made a lot of money, at least in the past couple months, and now it's just like, now I got to kind of just go out and do my hustle again, and get out and get more projects from different companies and different clients, whoever it is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, okay. So what about friend support then? Yeah.
Friend support.
And also friends can also relate into like your relationship too. I know you have a girlfriend and stuff, like, how do those support?
They are definitely more supportive in the sense that they verbally push me to really put myself out there more, to create more content regardless of the money involved or whatever like that. If I have a question about something that I'm writing up, as far as like a video project that I want to do or whatever like that, if I bring that question to almost any member of my family, they're going to relate it back to, well, you need to make sure that this isn't taking over the job. You need to make sure that my work comes first, my job comes first. Even if the question I'm asking has nothing to do with that whatsoever. Right. My friends, my girlfriend, whatever like that, they will give me feedback on the topic that I'm asking about. Okay. So,
Are they? So I mean, as far do they go out and do they go out and actually like really push some of the stuff that you will put out sometimes, and like they'll actually go out and share your stuff over there and kind of relay your business to other people? Will they do that at least?
I have had that happen in the past. I can't speak for recently because honestly I haven't really created much content recently. But I have definitely had, I've got a fairly small group of really close friends.
Right.
And
it's good to do that.
Right.
It's good to have a small circle.
Definitely.
Like for me, I think with my friends, like, and I don't know how many of my friends would watch this and see what I'm about to say, but there's like a certain amount of friends who I will see that will relay me to somebody. Like,
right.
It'll only, like, I know right now I'm thinking in my head that like the 5 close circle of friends that I have, they'll be the ones to relay me to people. But then some of the other friends who I would still consider friends, not really acquaintances at the time.
Right.
I couldn't see them always do that. But I mean, I don't know. It support is such a weird thing. At least in my thing, it's like sometimes, man, support can just. Sometimes you have to almost impress people. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
To get them to actually even. You have to almost do something that instantly like grabs their attention for them to really say, all right, I'm going to start really supporting what STEFON, what Blake is doing,
right? That
kind of thing. And then you always have that.
It's almost a stigma,
right?
In a way,
you always have that relentless support though from like people who like for me, the most relentless support. And I think I'm using that word right once again. Relentless like support, I think, will come from my mom. My mom will always support me no matter what. You know, same thing with my dad. Same thing with my brother. Like they'll be there to support. But and my mom, I was about to say, like, sometimes they won't give you like the flaws of certain stuff.
Right.
You have family members like that or people like that who they'll support your stuff, but they won't tell you, like, give you good feedback or good criticism.
Right.
And
definitely.
My mom gives me good feedback and criticism sometimes, but sometimes most of the time she's very just supportive no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. My youngest brother is probably the worst person that I could go to.
You have a brother? I had no clue.
Oh yeah, I got 2 brothers.
Cool.
They're both younger than me, but my youngest brother is probably the worst person that I would ever go to for any sort of constructive criticism or anything like that for anything I made. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. It's not something that I made. That I'm not racist video. I'm sure you've seen
Lucas.
It. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I had him sit down with me and watch it one night. Mm-hmm. It was just the other night. And I'm like, okay, I want to get your take on this. Mm-hmm. Let's watch this video, and I want to get your take on it. We watch it all the way through. He says, well, it's a video.
That's it. No, it's a video.
I'm like, freaking what?
Yeah. So you gotta have people who have good constructive criticism.
Oh God, yeah. That was like tough. The worst. I'm
tough.
Like, well,
and look,
you're not wrong.
Right. I mean, I hate that sometimes. Sometimes I think artists, people, because as artists and being someone that creates something, you love. Yes. Your art, you love what you create. So sometimes you can be sensitive about what people say about your stuff. I'm one of those people kind of. But I've been trying to think is my mind is like, all right, I don't want to be too sensitive about something. If I want it to be good, like I need constructive criticism on like what's become of the project or whatever. Like you got to have that instead of just having somebody just judge it in a way.
Right.
Be judgmental. So
and on the other side of that same coin, I also definitely don't want just blind following.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want someone that is just like, oh my God, that was so good. I'm like, I literally shit that up in like 2 minutes.
Right.
It just,
sometimes I don't mind that. I guess what I was thinking of a blind following is like sometimes people will say it's real good or whatever, and I'm like, oh thanks, that's it. Sometimes I won't go digging deeper. I'll keep that. Sometimes I'll only go digging deeper. Hey, how do you feel about this?
I see what you're talking
from specific people, and only the people I would choose to dig deep from are close people within my circle and the close creatives. But
dig deep on me sometime. I promise you, I will give you everything I can think of.
Right. Pause on that. But also, all right. So. Moving on back to like your kind of hit background and who and like stuff like that is, I know you're a big fan of YouTube and stuff like that. You're a big fan of YouTube creators and that kind of stuff.
Creators,
I don't know about the platform itself.
The platform itself
that's
can go screw itself.
That's the whole thing.
Dear God.
But all right, so what like filmmakers and what like YouTubers have inspired you? Like, who do you really look to for a lot of creative inspiration from those realms on YouTube and just?
That's gonna be such a overdone cliche, but one of my favorite ones, obviously, Casey Neistat.
Yes, love. I mean, that Casey Neistat's how one of the big reasons why I started vlogging.
Yeah. Now, I will say that interesting story behind that is that YouTube for a while was pushing me to watch his videos, and I knew very little about him except for the fact that, as far as what I could tell, he was essentially the mainstream of YouTube.
Yeah, basically.
The last thing that I do is jump onto a bandwagon because everyone else is.
Right.
You know, I actively stay away from bandwagons.
Right, yeah, I don't want to hop on a trend.
I do not want to hop on a train or anything like that just because everyone else is. I don't, for the same reason why you don't jump off a bridge because everyone else is.
Right.
One obviously is deadly, whereas the other one's not, but still the same basic idea.
Right.
I do not follow the herd. I create my own path because even though it's harder to do it that way, it's more fulfilling whenever you get there.
Sure. What other kind of YouTubers?
But yeah, and I finally just messaged my friend. I'm like, okay, before I actually dive into this, you know, do you think I would like Casey Neistat? And he says, you haven't already subscribed, dude? Come on, seriously? I'm like, yes, seriously. He said, yes, you want to subscribe to him. I watched the first video I ever watched from his channel was Do What You Can't. And obviously the rest is history. I'm automatically hooked, and yeah.
Right, exactly.
So
you know how I figured out who he was. How I figured out about him, I just heard his name. I just heard that that name is very. It sticks out. Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's not your average name.
Right.
It's not your typical name, but at the same time, it's not like Mihavics or anything like that. Where it's like the Dark whatever like that.
It stuck. Like I think the one video that I always kept seeing, I never watched it. I still haven't watched it to this day.
What?
Was that Blizzard video he did where he's snowboarding all? It was like that. It was like a couple years.
Oh my
back.
God, snowboarding with the NYPD.
Yeah.
God,
that
video was hilarious.
Yeah,
oh my God,
that video is the only thing.
Do yourself a favor and watch that.
It looks good.
Oh my God!
I've been watching all this stuff now about the whole 368. I'm sure you've been watching some of his stuff, and I really love the partnership that him and that Dan Mace guy have.
Yes.
Great.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
As far as I'm trying to think. So, what other YouTubers besides Casey do you really watch? Give me your top 5 YouTubers that inspire you. Yeah, absolutely. love MKBHD. What I like about him is just I've always loved tech. I'm like, I came up off of a lot of tech stuff too, tech reviews and stuff, and I just love that he's one of the top YouTubers, and he's a black man who's doing it too, because I think that's great that he's doing it and that he has that kind of vibe.
Hashtag I'm not
and he's he doesn't overshoot stuff, but he's shooting all his YouTube videos on red cameras, which I love that still.
He's genuine, he's authentic.
I don't know if I would do that.
He's not pushing to be more than what he is. He
loves a clean, his style is clean cut,
crispy, and
exactly.
Yes.
So MKBHD, that's one. Of course, Casey Neistat, we got 2, 3 more.
Sarah Dietschy.
Yeah, I haven't watched her stuff in a little while, but I subscribed to her this year too. I believe it was this year or last year. Her stuff is really good too. I heard about her from Casey Neistat.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't really know who she was.
And God, if I had to pick another one, I don't want to go tech or vlogging again, but I'm going to say, does it have to be a YouTuber?
I mean, really anyone, any filmmaker, YouTuber, anything that inspired you.
Okay.
Anything that's inspired you that you look up to.
One person that really inspired me greatly, Guy Ritchie.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard of him. What that name's? I can't remember who, but who is that person? Who's Guy Ritchie?
Oh, Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.
Okay,
he directed it. And everything.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
And again,
I probably sound stupid to all the filmmakers. Guy Ritchie. Okay, cool director. Go
But
ahead.
yeah, so and obviously, the main reason why it is that that I look up to him definitely is
His work is good. Sherlock Holmes is amazing.
his work is good. Never stepped foot in college.
Mm-hmm.
Never
There's tons
never
of
stepped foot in a film class.
There's tons of filmmakers like
Obviously,
that.
yes.
There's
He
tons of filmmakers
he
like
just
that.
happened to be the first one that I met that I saw his work from, and then realized that he never went to film school.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, look at Quentin Tarantino. He dropped out of high school.
I know.
And he's one of the best directors ever.
It's probably just a coincidence of timing, really. But I also I love his style with Sherlock Holmes. How it was both the dark and the funny, and
yeah, it was a very unique way to do a Sherlock Holmes movie.
Oh my God, yes,
It was very unique.
Yes, definitely the way that he slow mo has been the most overdone thing, arguably the most overdone thing in
Michael
cinema.
Bay movies.
Yes, yeah.
Explosions and slow motion.
Slow mo, and most of it has no real meaning behind it. It's just there to look good.
Yeah.
The way that Guy Ritchie did slow mo with Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. It had a reason behind it.
Right.
Because whenever Rob gets into the combat,
it was always that was always cool.
he thinks about what steps
he's going to do,
and it's like
how it's going to affect it's going to affect his opponent. Yeah,
and
for sure.
he did the slow mo like that with the effects and everything. I'm like, I'm just freaking blown away the first time I saw that. I'm like, that's how you do slow mo. There's a reason why it's doing it that way.
Works
Stuff
within
you
the
can
story.
actually see the impact and really
Works
get
within
the
the story.
feel for it and everything like that.
Who else? So you,
did
I name? You got one more person left.
One more person left. God.
Is it raining outside?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, trash.
Either that or it's the AC.
I think it's raining. Fuck.
Keep
going.
And my bike's outside.
Alright, yeah, keep going.
I'm gonna say Rachel David.
Rachel, who's that? I don't know.
She's smaller right now.
YouTuber?
Yeah.
Okay.
YouTuber, but also entrepreneur, business. Right now, what she's doing is she's doing like these sit-down interviews like this with other content creators to kind of talk about how it is they got to the point that they are with YouTube, and the fact that most YouTubers today, they have multiple streams of income to be able to support their lifestyle comfortably. And she's going through what is the actual real world of YouTube content creators, not the frickin' Jake Pauls of the world or anything like that, where they get their 5 seconds of fame with the millions of subscribers for a period of time, not the PewDiePies or anything like that, but the ones that are at a comfortable level and that are really genuine and making good content or just really even promoting their business products on YouTube that they're using YouTube for their business essentially. So that what she's doing is exactly what has been needed for so long, because of the fact that this path is so undefined. It is such a dark path in the sense that whenever you start down this road, it's not paved for you. You don't see what's right in front of you because you just don't know. You don't know where your
obstacles.
You don't know where your next pay is going to come from. You don't know if you're going to be able to afford to get the next camera or pay for Adobe Premiere Pro for the month or what have you. But she is really shining a light on what everyone's process has been.
And cool. She vlogs?
It's like this. It's a sit-down interview. It's a sit-down interview type of thing. And cool. She just recently started doing it, and it's not just video, but it's also the podcast, and I had, and I'm going to be getting my Google Play Music subscription back. I canceled it, personal reasons. But she does it that way too, so that way I can just listen whenever I'm riding on my bike or whatever like that. And the stories are always, I just find them so fascinating, even if they have nothing to do with with anything that I'm doing at all. They're just really fascinating to me.
Right. That's cool.
So
cool. So those are all people that support or not support, that you look up to and stuff. I mean, do you kind of watch all of their stuff daily as far as like the YouTubers go?
Well, one by default, and I'll explain what I mean by default here in a minute, is Philip DeFranco.
Yeah, heard of him.
And
never watched any of his stuff, but I've heard of him.
Right, and it's because of the fact that he makes daily content Monday through Friday and sometimes Saturday and Sunday, because of the fact that he is news.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so
news stuff.
That's what I mean by default. Is that
a lot of that news informational stuff is getting pretty popular on YouTube. Like,
oh yeah.
I think I saw something recently where it was talking about. I think Casey Neistat was the thing. Maybe I could be wrong, but I saw some video.
They did a video.
Well, it was I forget where I saw this, but it was I think it was either a video or like a graph of like what they say is the most popular kind of like, I guess, niche on YouTube, and like, gaming used to be like the number one thing.
Oh yeah, and now all the gamers got screwed eventually.
Yeah,
so it's like,
now it's like news stuff, and the vlogging stuff has kind of fell down a couple notches and stuff like that, and just so yeah. I mean, depend like. For me, I guess the YouTubers I like, I'm just gonna name YouTubers. I love Casey Neistat, I love MKBHD, loves Sarah Dietschy. Peter McKinnon is another guy. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh God, yes.
Peter McKinnon's awesome.
Peter McKinnon and
love to work with. I would love to work with all these guys.
How the hell do you pronounce his last name? I cannot think of it. Matty. It's either. I think it's.
Matty. I don't know.
Apoya.
I've heard of that.
It's Peter's friend, so.
Yeah, I love Peter McKinnon. Matthew Santaro's great. What other channel? I'm trying to think of other channels. I watch a lot of new. I watch Everyday Struggle. I watch a lot of different YouTube stuff.
I've been getting more into the tech videos than anything else lately. Digital trends, Mr. Mobile, Android Authority. Because
have you Unbox Therapy? Ever seen that guy?
Unbox Therapy.
His stuff is always cool.
I am complete Android, but I know.
Apple. I don't know if y'all can see this. It's Apple, baby.
LG V20. But no,
Apple Watch.
I don't want to downgrade my screen size. What the hell are you doing?
I just got two of them now.
But no, I'm completely Android, but I am subscribed to Talos of Tech, who is the Apple sheep. He is self-proclaimed, and it has worked because the first thing that you see when you type into YouTube that is Apple sheep, he comes up first. And really, I'm subscribed to him because of the fact that he makes an effort to be as unbiased as possible. He understands why people like Android, but he also has his reasons for liking Apple that Android just does not do.
Right. And vice versa.
And vice versa.
Right.
I mean,
for sure.
So, but and I just. But yeah, those are the content creators that I really
really watch a lot and inspire you and stuff to do those things. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So back on YouTube, and make this brief, but like, what do you think of YouTube now and how it's evolved from
as a company, as a business, and everything?
As a business, as a platform for creators such as ourselves, and stuff like that. What do you think about it?
What I think about it, and it's like half my own feelings and half what I have seen it do as a fact. That I don't know who the hell thought that having what is now the number one most visited video website in the world being run 9 out of 10, like 99%, based on one single algorithm. What the hell?
Right.
I mean, seriously, you cannot tell me you didn't have at least one person that saw this and was like, don't we need, a reasonable amount of human beings to monitor this and make sure that people aren't screwing this shit up and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it slapped him in the face 3 times. 3 times, good and hard, and it was an absolute wake-up call. I respect YouTube for what it is, not for what it's doing. I hate the fact.
I like that.
I hate the fact that the #1 most popular video website ever is currently in a distress because, and at the same time, I also have sympathy for them because they're getting it from both sides. They're getting shit from their creators as much as what they are the brands that are.
Exactly, and YouTube needs that because look, the creators of YouTube is what makes YouTube.
Yes. I don't think. I think that they need to do what Vimeo is doing, and I know that.
Love Vimeo. I like so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
explain yourself.
First of all of anything that I create myself from scratch, I'm going to be putting on Vimeo for the foreseeable future. Because of the fact...
Yeah, that's actually a good question. So, I'll hold that thought. You were on... I remember you were on YouTube for a little while.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I stopped seeing your stuff on YouTube, and then I've been seeing it more on Vimeo.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
The reason for that is because of the fact that it's a much more laser-focused on the creator. I think... that, everyone, all these content creators on YouTube are getting brand deals left and right, and they're being screwed out of their money left and right because of the fact that YouTube is screwing up with the brands and everything like that. So brands are pulling their advertisements and they're getting screwed. And I've said that 5 times now. With Vimeo, it's straight cut and dry. The audience puts their money where their mouth is.
For sure.
And I 100% agree with that more than 20 cents per view after a year or something like that of creating content. And it's no one can survive off of that. I don't care who you are.
Right.
I 100% am in favor of the audience putting their money where their mouth is. If you like something, freaking pay for it. I'm going to be putting up my own stuff on Vimeo, and I know it's pro account and everything like that, $15 a month. It's not going to break me if it does. I did something wrong. But I'm going to be putting my own price on my videos, and that's I think it's a 90-10 split or something like that. Last I knew, at least, it was a 90-10 split. I keep 90, they keep 10, we're all good. I don't want to have to mess with brand deals, because then I've seen so much of the time where the audience, even if they are fan base, over half of the audience, over half of the creator's fan base is going to say, "Oh, you just sold out. You're just selling yourself out." It's no, you're an idiot.
I've always seen a lot of YouTubers do that, where they're like, "Hey, I'm not sponsored, but they're not sponsoring my video." Right. I've always seen them do that. And sometimes I think to myself, why do they always have to explain themselves about that?
Well, because of the fact that more than half their fan base is bitching about it.
Right. Which is yo, man, y'all don't want to see me eat, man. Fuck y'all.
Also,
this is how I would look at it.
Another layer to add on top of this, we got mainstream broadcast media that you got the different TV shows, the talk shows, or whatever.
I think that audience they don't want to see that specific content change. They feel like if they're branded by something, they're gonna think that their creators' content is gonna start flush down the toilet in a way.
They might think that, but they're completely dead wrong. It's actually
of course.
It's
the opposite.
It's the opposite.
But at the same time, that can happen for some people.
That can happen, yes.
But most of the times, yes, but it should add more to it.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the fact that we, as the creator, are also founder, CEO, and top of the food chain of our business. Because a lot of the times, we're the only person working.
Right. So for you, in your So now that you've moved to Vimeo and stuff, I mean, what are some changes that you like the most about moving to Vimeo?
The fact that well, first of all, the comments for one. The comments that everyone on YouTube.
There's a lot of people comment more on YouTube.
The comment section on YouTube is practically a cancer.
That's real. That's real.
9 out of 10 comments in the comment section of any YouTube video. I don't care what video you're talking about. It is a cancer.
Yeah. Vimeo is a lot different. Vimeo usually more
is so laser focused on the professional side of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's much more clean cut and dry. And my favorite part to it, and it's because of the fact that the content that I'm planning on creating, is that Vimeo, its censorship is way more lax. You know, YouTube.
And that's true. Yeah, it is true.
I have seen, because of the fact that I'm following a boudoir niche, a few boudoir niches on Vimeo, and they are all, at least mostly, if not fully, nude videos. They are artistic. They're not straight porn by any means, but YouTube
just to make that clear,
right? But YouTube would never allow that, especially right now. Unless, you know, you title...
YouTube pushes it sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
There's some stuff on there that is very questionable.
There's a way around it, and obviously people...
in my opinion, though, I feel like YouTube has, when we're talking about censorship, YouTube has more violent things, like things than Vimeo would have.
Yes.
Vimeo would have. But sometimes they can't help. It's hard to help that. Like, for instance, just like, I guess an example would be, I saw something the other day, and I don't know if it was posted either on YouTube or Facebook video, which I don't want to get into that. Facebook video is a whole another thing too.
Facebook Watch. I mean, what the hell?
Because Facebook is really trying to spend a lot of money on stuff like that. Like Facebook, you know, Facebook, I think just did they have a partnership with Red, actually, like that's just coming up now.
What?
Yeah, they have a partnership with Red, and it has something to do with their live video content is what it's for.
God damn. Okay.
And I think it's specifically for making like a live video camera for. I heard about it on a No Film School podcast, which is a great podcast.
Nice.
Anyway, what was I talking about?
The violence on in video content.
Okay, yeah. So I saw a video of, you know, there's been a lot of school shootings and stuff happening recently.
Right.
And the guy who did the Parkland school shooting had a video that came out.
I saw that whole thing on Philip DeFranco.
And I don't know if it was on I don't know if it was posted to Facebook or YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. So stuff like that is like, that's dangerous.
It was on YouTube, and
Vimeo is usually just all professional stuff, mostly. You know what I mean?
And I want to kind of jump on this for a moment. It's kind of off topic, but I really need to jump on this. Freaking ABC, CNN, all those other big top dog newscaster stations, they are feeding these people exactly what they want.
Right.
They're they're feeding their fame of being a killer. They're feeding their fame of being a mass murderer. You are a freaking idiot if you think any differently, and the way that Phil DeFranco is doing it is that he's blocking their face. He's censoring the killer's face. He's focusing more on the victims and the heroes of the shooting.
Right.
That is the way you do it. And people are like, well, if we can't show the face, then how are we going to talk about it? What the hell do you think Phil DeFranco's been doing his whole career?
Yeah, I think that the mainstream media outlets do that simply just to
for views,
and it stirs up a lot of conversation. Regardless, any situation that tragic is going to have conversation about it,
right?
Even though it's happened many times. You know,
I don't need to see.
And it happens. It does that. It does that for a lot of situations. It does that when it comes to school shootings and when it comes to police brutality.
Yes.
And stuff like that. It's unfortunate, but
it really is
unfortunate. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about with Vimeo.
Yes.
When we talked about as far as like the different policies. So YouTube, one thing I've noticed about YouTube, it's happened a lot on this channel and on SW Films, is that certain like there's copyright stuff that happens.
Oh God. Yes.
Now here's the thing. Vimeo just did something that is kind of crazy. When I saw it, I was like, oh man, that actually changes the game on how I'd want to.
Okay, now you got me curious. You got me curious now. What they do?
So this is the thing that they do for Vimeo now.
Okay.
If you have one video that has, well, actually, it goes like so. From what I saw, Vimeo has a thing now to where you have a 3 copyright limit. Okay. So say you have 3 videos that have copyrighted songs in them.
Okay.
You're instantly gonna get 3 strikes. So you know the first video has that strike, second video, third, boom.
Right.
Whatever, right?
Right.
Once the 3rd strike hits, your channel I think gets deactivated for like a while. Okay. It only gets deactivated until you can prove that you have access to that copyrighted content. Now that's crazy, in my opinion, because I'm like, oh man, like, and of course you should not use copyrighted stuff anyway.
That opens the game.
But like, so how, to me, I think it's kind of detrimental to creators on Vimeo now is like, if they're using a lot of copyrighted content and they don't have access to that, you know, copyrighted content or whatever it is, that can really, and you can't get access until it's proven. Say that you have, say you use a song in that, because that's the thing too. Vimeo is one of those. What was one of those? It had at first it was like completely you could use whatever copyright anything.
Right.
There was no problem to do that. Right. Vimeo has it now to where it's like, okay, damn. If you have that, you're gonna have to get access to Warner Brothers or Universal Music or wherever your copyright content is coming from. You have to say, hey man, like I use your such and such thing in one of my videos and my account's disabled or whatever. Disabled, and like how am I gonna, like, that kind of sucks because you can end up screwing over your channel and such. So it's a different way to traverse through Vimeo now.
Right. Now
YouTube doesn't have that. I don't have any copyright strikes on my content. I just have it to where like I can't get monetized. That video won't be able to get monetized, which is whatever. I want to get to that point where I can start making money from YouTube videos, but I make money just.
Now,
from
are you sure that it's just demonetized for you, or
it's demonetized for me? And there's ads on the video.
Okay, if there's ads on there, it's the label or whoever that has that
will get money from it. They'll get money from it.
They'll get money from it.
Exactly. I won't though.
Exactly.
Which is whatever. I don't really care about that. But like, I don't have any copyright strikes to where it's like I did have one copyright strike. It wasn't a strike, but I could not use the thing that I put in the video. I could not use that specific song. I had to take it out.
Okay, so
YouTube, fix this shit. Vimeo, what the hell? That's my thing. I think that, to me, in my opinion, I want to get your opinion. What do you think about that as far as that whole Vimeo?
As far as copyright strike in general, or copyright material in general is concerned, like, here's my stance on it. Is that, you know, whenever I start traveling for, you know, for my video projects, and I want to put in, like, my best friend is in a band, okay? Not saying that as an example, he actually is. And whenever his band makes some music that they put out there, what me and him have talked about is that
you put his
I put his band's music into my video, and I'm promoting because then I put how I would credit his band for that is that I would put the link of each individual track into the comment.
Exactly. And that's what I do too.
Yeah. And of course,
if I'm using, I've never used any of my
paper written
rappers,
written forms that say yes, you are allowed to use our music for that. And the price can either be negotiated as to how much of a cut they get, or it could just be free promo, whatever.
Right, and that's crazy.
That's what I think is the most fair way to go, because of the fact that you created you created the video, you took the time to edit and everything like that. Depending on what it is that you were shooting, you probably planned it out, or if it's just a simple vlog, whatever. But the music is not yours.
Right.
The music is not yours. If you're willing to sit down and take the time to actually, create your own music on FL Studio, whatever like that, then fine. That's perfectly fine. More power to you for being able to have that sort of a drive. I've done that in the past. That I've dicked around with FL Studio to make my own music. And
I've
I've surprised myself with what I can come up
do
with
and create, for sure.
But at the same time, you're already doing everything else for your video, and you would be helping to promote a friend. So my stance on it is that don't make sure whenever you are uploading, what I think the platforms need to do is that as you're uploading the video,
Mhm.
you're also uploading some sort of document that says
States
that
you don't have
that I do have
ownership.
permission to,
or you do have permission, and that you don't have ownership of the song,
right? Yes,
whatever.
Exactly.
For sure. I mean, because like, yeah, I've done that a couple times. Like in the Trine video I did, I used a song. Well, the song that they wanted to put in the video,
Right,
was a copyrighted song, obviously.
mm-hmm.
And at first I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know how good that would look for like a client. But then the funniest thing ever is like the actual artist who sung that song and performed that song commented, because when I promoted everything on Instagram, that
Mhm.
person commented on my Instagram and said that she thought the video was beautiful, and I was like, oh shit, like,
Right.
there you go, like, I don't care about the copyright, like, I got blessings from the owner, the singer herself.
Well, that's
Mandisa, shout out Mandisa.
That's whenever you flip it around and be like, okay, man, could you also, let YouTube know that I have permission to use?
Right. Yeah, I didn't do all that just because
So-
honestly I wouldn't expect them to do that, because they probably would be like, nigga, who the fuck are you? Honestly, they'd probably say something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it because it is someone else's work.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's a major step for Vimeo, because Vimeo they didn't care about any copyrighted content before, ever like that. Like they didn't care about that. Now it's like, if you do it, then they'll say it. And I think
label will
the label will get involved, or
the label
whoever's
will get pissed off
involved.
with Vimeo will get pissed off at you.
Right,
it's
exactly.
a chain reaction.
Yeah, Vimeo loses money from certain stuff like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense,
So,
but it's like,
I get it.
that's a tough creative crack. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough one.
I mean, yes and no. It's literally just as simple as, can I have permission to use this? Yes. Here's the document. Sign it. We're good.
Right.
You
For
know,
sure.
and of course, and then there's also the other extreme of like somebody goes Facebook Live or something like that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I don't care what it is that you're going live with. You could be going live with anything that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, in the background, you hear moves like Jagger. I got that moves like Jagger.
Right.
And then Facebook shuts you down instantly. It's like, the hell? Seriously?
Instagram will do that sometimes.
Instagram will do that.
I've heard Instagram Live has done that.
I mean, of course, if Facebook didn't do it, then Instagram didn't do it, because they're pretty much.
It is wild. I think that is wild.
It's just happen. Like freaking what? I'm not even making money off of this, and you're shutting my shit down.
Yeah.
Seriously?
It's something.
So that's where I have a problem with it, and so. It's just like you create something, and then all of a sudden someone else, you create a video, you upload it and call it good. Someone else is wanting to do a video, like, take any one of Casey Neistat's bigger movies, like the Do What You Can't video. That obviously has a lot, that's obviously essentially a montage of other creators' videos.
Right.
Technically, I bet you anything I could find it. I don't know for sure, but I bet you anything he could have gotten copyright strikes from every single clip that wasn't his.
Probably.
So,
most likely.
It's the same thing, just a different format. Obviously, music versus video. It's the same thing. Wouldn't you want to have the person that's using your content for whatever project they're working on? Wouldn't you want the same permission? Wouldn't you want them to ask permission from you to use your content just to make sure? Obviously, it's going to be a different story if they're going to be like my favorite creators versus the worst creators of all time, and I don't want to hand over. I don't want to have someone use my own content to bash me.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's disrespect.
But so
for sure.
I get it.
It's something. I get it, but now me personally, I'm just like, because I put specific things on both YouTube and Vimeo. For YouTube, I'll put music videos, documentaries usually,
right,
and usually that would be it. For Vimeo, I put more commercial work on there, demo reels, and like short films and film stuff. More stuff that has more higher production stuff.
Okay.
I'll put all the high production stuff I'm gonna put on Vimeo.
Okay.
Is what I put. But so now I want to get into these picture questions. So I want these to be very brief. All right. As far as the explanation on it.
Okay.
But so there's certain tweets that you've made on Twitter and stuff, and I pulled off them. I want to ask, I guess, what did you mean more specifically by specific tweets?
I love. Oh my god, this is probably gonna be my favorite part.
Oh man. So this tweet. It says, I've put in as much effort as I can into my video career. I've promoted myself in my hometown countless times. I spent nearly every paycheck on as much equipment as I need to keep going. Now I don't know when I'll be able to afford to make another video, and I'm on edge. Hold on, there it continues. I have way too much time at my disposal from not being able to afford to bake, or to make videos.
Damn it, autocorrecting. Damn Twitter for not letting me edit my damn tweets.
Yeah, that's a whole
conversation.
To make videos, and that it's driving me insane. I've shifted my focus to writing, but just that alone isn't fully satisfying. I have no idea what to do anymore, so I'm working, writing, and thinking for now. Sounds very sounds very exhausting. And frustrating.
You picked one hell of a tweet.
So what was going on there? What in your mind? I guess briefly.
Yes.
Kind of explain what that.
Well, you have it right there. That's as brief as it gets. No, I'm kidding.
Well, if I want to hear in your words, tell me. Okay, so bring it down a little more.
A little bit more specific as to what was going on at the time, which technically is kind of still going on, is that, and this is going to dive way more into the tech, is that I have a 2 terabyte external hard drive, and I've got a 2 terabyte Google Drive storage plan. And essentially, my 2 terabyte hard drive is my primary storage, and my Google Drive is backup.
Okay.
For literally everything.
Makes sense.
Even dating all the way back to that first video I was telling you about, 12/21/12, the end of the world rage. I have every single thing, every single second of raw footage I've ever done, any video project, anything like that, and I've come to the conclusion that I needed to stop spending my own paychecks from my part-time job into my video stuff, because I've been doing it for that long. Now, consistency was up and down, granted, but for the most part it was up. And I just could not afford to keep going with that, and to build up my own personal life and to get ahead personally and everything like that. So I decided that, you know what, I opened up another account that was strictly for professional, the video stuff and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I officially have approximately 2 gigs left on that drive. Obviously, it's not nearly enough to make any sort of video that would be worth making. Yeah. So I essentially decided that, you know what, I'm going to use this time to simply step back and just take some time for myself and really think and figure out.
Gather things around, gather your thoughts up, and like you said, writing and stuff.
Take a break.
Because when I looked at it, it sounded definitely like frustrating.
Frustration. Absolutely. Because
exhaustion and stuff.
I have ADHD, so I'm literally on the go every single day, and that's just the way my mind works. It is that I'm always working on something or whatever like that, and if I take a break, it's because I know I need one. I'm about ready to overload myself, I'm about ready to burn out, and I know I just need a break, so I will literally lay in my bed, binge on videos and movies and TV shows all day, and that's literally,
That's a good question too, to sidestep from all this real fast, I guess, so what exactly, I guess, because you said so you just explained yours as far as what you would do, like sleep and watch, binge move, like when you take a break.
Right.
Me personally, I'm one of those people where I don't really take a whole lot of breaks a lot. If I do take a break, it's just because I find myself being distracted by something else, randomly, or just procrastinating.
Yeah.
But when I take breaks, what I usually like to do, and I don't do it as much now, but sometimes I'll just, take a drive somewhere out in town, and just kind of just take my mind off it. But I won't drive anywhere too long.
You're killing me, environment.
Yeah,
So
we'll get to that. Your biking and stuff. But anyway, like, you know, do that, or like, you know, I'll go outside, see what my dog's up to. That sounds horrible. See what my dog is up to. I'll take my dog outside, but usually
hey, Fido, how's it going?
Yeah, you know, see what the dog's going through. Take him on I've only taken him on a walk just because you've been to my place where I live at. Like, he just roams around wherever.
Yeah, so I mean, he takes himself for a walk, more or less.
You know, eating birds and all that kind of stuff. But
poor Tweety.
Right. Or what I'll do is sometimes I almost treat it. I won't treat it like a 9 to 5, but at a certain time when it gets to like towards like 6, 7 o'clock, I'll make sure to be done working because I go to the gym at like 8:30 at night. So usually I'll kind of like stay off the, you know, I'll kind of like cut it there if I'm working like from all morning to all night without a whole lot of breaks. I'll just do that.
Right.
And, you know, I'll just probably watch YouTube videos, get something to eat, and then, you know, get ready to head out to work out or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'll do for breaks. But
right.
All right, so that's a good point. I mean, as far as this, I don't have the actual. I think you tweeted this May 15th.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel now?
Right now, I'm in a little
specific.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit better spot right now because of the fact that I've worked. I've essentially gotten over that hump of the frustration because I've been making money.
Yeah.
That's, you know, from side gigs, from I'm a DJ at a nightclub now. So that's given me some tip money that has literally because of the fact that I've only got
back into your tech and stuff. Right?
Yeah, I've only got the one bill that's my Google Drive storage that's specific for that account, and that's the only thing. And so that money has, for the most part, been able to just sit there and just collect, and I'm not touching it except for tech for my videos. Whereas my part-time job is money for basically everything else, living expenses and Netflix and whatnot.
That's good that you do that. That's good organizational skills. I wish I could have the same. Like me, it's crazy. Like now, for me, I just spend money on fucking traveling here to Fort Wayne. And
right.
Food. I hate that. Like I haven't really spent money back onto my business in a while. The last time I did that was, I guess the only personal thing I got for myself recently was the Apple Watch, and
technically that would be considered a business expense.
Yeah, in a way.
Because it's connected to your iPhone, and your iPhone is a business tool.
Right, basically, yeah. True.
So,
makes sense. All right, next tweet. This one, says, I like to think I'm not in competition with anyone. Every videographer has their own style. Sure, there's a quality difference between using a smartphone versus using a Red camera. But for the sake of artistic expression, the equipment means nothing. Now, I definitely agree with that statement. I definitely agree with that statement as far as like it doesn't really matter on the camera you use. Although I do feel like that plays a part in what specific market you're reaching towards, right? I believe that
it can.
You know, because for instance,
I've seen some color grading from an iPhone that I would swear to God was from something that's way better than my DSLR Canon T7 Ariel.
Right. Well, I mean, the color grading that comes from. If you're talking about the color science within the camera or just the color grading, that just depends. That's in the software. Yeah. That's in the whatever software you're using. But like, for instance, I agree with that though. It doesn't really matter. Like, it kind of depends on how you use it. So, for instance, one movie that I always go back to when it comes to how they use tech to be creative was the Steve Jobs movie with what's his name, man? Who played him?
Steve Jobs?
You
would think so, but nope.
I forget. But whoever remembers it, put it in the comments. But like how they did it is it went through 3 different like kind of periods of time. First they shot on 16mm film, then they shot on 35mm film, then they shot on digital. And I was like, and I noticed it. I saw the change like each time, and I was like, why the hell did they do that? And I was like, wait a minute. They mix the technical aspect with the artistic aspect of the film. Yeah. How all right, it started early, like this was the first thing, so it was old, then it got kind of moved up a little bit, then there was like the digital was like the current time stuff. I was like, you know what, that's very smart way to do that. It makes sense.
There's a reason why you do that.
I mentioned in my in one of my vlogs I mentioned how the director Steve Soderbergh had a movie called Unsane. They shot it completely on an iPhone 7.
Mm-hmm. And then he said he had a specific statement saying that he believes that shooting on phones is going to be the future of filmmaking. No, it's not. In my opinion, I'm sorry. I'm not one of them guys.
Yeah.
Look, this has a great camera on it. Shoots 4K and does 200. I think 2 something. Or what is it? 120 frames at 1080, like great. But like, here's the thing: I'm not gonna shoot a film on this.
Oh no.
You know, I'll shoot my vlogs with it, and like only for an artistic expression, like you said, would I choose to shoot on a phone.
Right. Yeah.
Not because like I just want to be a fucking asshole and shoot on a phone.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to diss nobody, but that's just how I feel about it.
And it's also because of the fact that at the end of the day, it is just a smartphone.
Right.
It is a smartphone. I won't say just a smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
It is a smartphone, and I mean that in the sense that it is essentially a multi-purpose tool.
Right.
You know, if you're vlogging on your smartphone and all of a sudden you get a call that interrupts the vlog, and you know, there's a whole shitload of other things that
that goes into all
that
of it.
goes into it, and
So,
especially like
continue.
just the one more point is that, you know, with whenever I do start back into my vlogs again, whenever I do start back into making my own videos again, I want my tech to be a focus point in my vlogs. I can't do that if I'm using my smartphone to shoot my vlogs, because at the core of all my tech is my smartphone.
Right.
So it is physically impossible to do that.
For sure. Okay. So one point though, you said I like to think I'm not in competition with anyone. Now,
yes,
and I guess when it comes to when you say that more in here, obviously where you're at in Fort Wayne.
right.
Imagine though, you go to Electric Springs, right, and you're going there to shoot something. But this time they want a specific look, or they want a specific quality, and they instead it's like you have to kind of compete with this guy as far as who has, like, you know, giving your reel out to see who they choose the best, like for a specific quality.
See that
would you say that you wouldn't like that, or that's just not how you would view it, or
I absolutely 100%. First of all, because that is very manifested, that it in a sense, it half takes away the art, and it also half creates the art of competition. There's obviously an art to competition, but in this industry.
Continue what you're saying.
Okay, so there you can line up the 5 videographers, me and 4 other videographers, all for Electric Spring, and they say, okay, whoever does the best wins blah blah award, or
right,
gets paid or whatever.
Or it's not like, I guess like clients sometimes won't be straight up and be like, hey, like we're gonna pick between the two of you and see who's the best. Like,
right.
There's sometimes they'll just they'll just pick behind closed doors.
There is a
that's when you get opened up to competition.
Right. There is an art to competition, but that also takes away from the art of creating. Because at that point, then, whenever you become more competitive, you'll have one of those 5 videographers. They'll create one thing, and then they'll see the reactions from the audience, everything like that. That will, subconsciously or directly, I don't care, that will alternate how the other videographers do how they create their video.
Right.
Which means that it will not be 100% authentically them. It will be competitive. You know, they'll want to do way more intense editing than the other person, or they'll want to you know, they'll want to, well, essentially, yeah, it boils down to they'll want to do way more intense editing than the other person, which may or may not, which will probably not be what their original intention was.
Right. I think what it boils down to is some people is just, you know, it can be competitive to get the job. You know what I mean? It can be competitive to get that job or get that spot to shoot. You know, shoot or film something. It can be, and
if you find yourself in that kind of position more often than not, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Because once you hit a certain point in your production and your quality of work and the end result, whenever you hit a certain point, then it no longer becomes about trying to be better than others. Mm-hmm. It's about being better than your previous work than what you were yesterday. Then you know,
it's just like the only competition you have is like yourself per se.
Right.
And it's a good way to look at it. It's good to look at it like that.
You know, you're because at the end of the day, you're never going to win over everyone with anything you do.
Exactly. Not at all. 100%.
So
cool. So all right, next tweet.
Yes.
This is a good one. I remember I actually commented on this one that you had put.
Really? I'm curious now.
You said, I am on a few different goals.
Mm-hmm.
A few different missions.
Okay.
To prove that cycling can and should be society's main mode of transportation.
Yes.
To teach the lessons that school and parents failed to teach previous generations through cinema. To diffuse the shock of nudity and sex. Mm-hmm. So, I want to start with the first one, to prove that cycling can and should be society's main mode of transportation. Now,
look at Norway.
Explain. Just go ahead through and explain your point.
Look at Norway. Look at, I think it's Netherlands. Look at those countries where the majority of those people, their main mode of transportation is biking, is cycling. And then look at us. You know, there is no reason why we cannot do it. There is literally.
Now, I agree with your point. Now, because I think honestly, in truth, you're very true. Especially now where we're at in prices of gas right now has been high,
and insurance
and stuff like that. But here's my perspective of that. I don't know about the main mode of transportation, because here's what life is like right now.
Okay.
In most places, especially in a place like Fort Wayne, in a place like Angola, even where I'm from.
Okay.
People want to get things done quickly. Mm-hmm. They want to get to places quickly. Mm-hmm. Getting on a bike is not necessarily a quick mode of transportation. It takes a little while. Imagine this. I drive to Fort Wayne almost every week. And literally, like, when I drive to Fort Wayne, it takes me like probably 35 to 40 minutes to get here. That's, close to about 30 some miles, close to 40 miles.
Right.
And like, imagine you like say you want to go to Angola. Yeah, say biking to Angola.
Wait. No, I will stop you right there.
You're gonna bike to Angola?
Electric pedal assist.
Electric. So what? Something that's like a motorbike or something? Essentially,
yes.
Now, hold on, because I heard you made a point too about destroying, or something, not destroying, but like the, how obviously cars, they emit that fuel and all this kind of shit into those. I'm not gonna get into all that, but that would be the same thing with a motorbike.
No, it's fully electric.
Oh, an electric motorbike.
Electric pedal assist. That's what I said.
Well, here's the thing. Here's another thing to kind of that too.
I might not have it.
Tesla. Yeah, exactly. Tesla. Look at Tesla. Tesla. Okay. They're electric cars. They're great cars, yes, right?
Absolutely.
They have big enough batteries to make it over 300, 400 some miles.
Yes.
I guarantee that electric bike could probably probably not as much because the battery's smaller. So going from Angola and then trying to go back to Fort Wayne, you're gonna stop somewhere around the point.
I don't have the.
And plus, cycling. I feel like cycling compared to an electric bike or something. I feel like that's. I guess it's technically the same thing.
As I said, electric pedal assist. Some bikes that are electric pedal assist do have the option to be fully electric, so you're not even pedaling at that point, which. Right. To me, it's kind of cheating it. Exactly. At that point, you're basically just riding an electric motorcycle.
Right.
So, yeah, I can understand it if you're like super, super, super tired. I've only gotten that tired like literally.
Yeah. What's the amount? Like, what's the high? Like, most amount of miles you've like biked for?
I don't know the mileage off the top of my head. I'll just look it up real fast.
Or the time. What's like the time?
Okay, time.
I'm sure. Have you
4 hours?
4 hours biking?
4 hours biking.
Oh man, I could never do that.
A solid 4 hours.
I could never.
I mean, I pulled over. I pulled over to drink a little bit, because I had this thing with me.
Yeah. Right. Like that's. So, I don't know. Okay. So.
But at that point.
Yeah.
At that point, this was previous summer with a previous bike. Mm-hmm. Okay, I was so it was new for me to be out on the road like that on a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
So I was experimenting with it. I was, pushing myself to see, how feasible is this for me right now?
Right.
And through trial and error, plenty of error, but but 100% trial and error, it is 100% feasible. The only exception, and I've already got a solution to that exception in the mail from eBay, is that whenever it rains. I've got a full rain cycling suit. It's specifically designed for bikers in the rain. For $20, for $30.
Okay, so let me give you something to think on. So in your that's like this is like biking now is like your only mode of transportation right now. Right?
It is, yes.
Okay, so you being a videographer and everything, you obviously have equipment and stuff that you carry around with you.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that's look as a filmmaker, you like if you have a lot of stuff, you can't really bike that a whole lot of places. You know what I mean? It's tough.
In your situation right now with all the equipment that you have, yes, I completely 100% agree. You would want to get Lyft, Uber, or in your case, you actually own a vehicle. I can understand that. That's why I say that majority of people with the majority of the traveling they do, which is mostly just in their own hometown, can do it.
Yeah. I think biking, like, I see your point. I don't know if overall society would be the main mode. I think in specific societies, certain societies, I think is where cycling could really benefit from.
Our society...
In America, there's definitely spots that could use it more. It seems like there's more in certain spots.
At a macro level, on the macro level, as far as society is concerned, we can do it just as much as any other country that has ever done this is currently doing this. Okay. It's a matter of a mindset, because the 9-to-5 work world has convinced everyone that they need to go to work for someone in order to have their. God, I could go on a completely separate rant on this topic, just like Mr. Robot. But that's one of the things that people have been hardwired in today's American society to believe is that they need a vehicle to get them from point A to point B.
Right.
Almost no matter where they go. And I will admit, I was one of them for a while. Mm-hmm. My car broke down. Okay, completely unrepairable. Well, not completely unrepairable, but more than what the car was going to be worth. I didn't have the money for it. I spent literally a month just in my bed and working, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going insane right now. I whipped up my bike from 5 years ago out of the shed and just started pedaling, and
changed your life ever since. Huh?
I
don't know. I think I'm just against all that because look, when I went to Florida, right, for Full Sail, I'm not gonna spend the whole story, but I didn't have a car when I first went down to Florida, and then when I finally I didn't have a car when I went down to Florida, and then the chance was just to get a bike and just bike there to school each day. I was like, that was like, whatever, I don't mind that. I'd probably have to bike for like the first year of school, which kind of sucked, to be honest, which I don't think wouldn't last. And it didn't last long at all because my bike got stolen the very first day we were
Oh my god! Please tell me you at least locked it up.
I did. I locked it up, but someone stole like every bike that was in the damn vicinity, damn near.
Oh, so, well, I mean,
it was complete ass.
And honestly, that's a Haley's comment.
Yeah.
That is completely a Haley's comment.
Haley's comment hit me right in the damn face.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right, on to the next one. So to teach the lesson that school and parents failed to teach previous generations.
Yes.
My question here is, I think I get what you're saying, and I think I agree, but like, what lesson are you talking about specifically? I think you're putting yourself in a very specific spot, saying the lesson that school and parents failed.
Oh,
to teach.
please! There was nothing specific about that.
Well, what lesson?
There is so much.
What lesson are you talking about?
Life lessons in general, really. Just not being an asshole to someone just because you can, because of the anonymity that comes with being on social media. Okay. For example, the bullying, the body shaming, and all this shit. that school is not teaching them. And
do you think school needs to have like?
School needs to completely.
They need to have like a life lesson class or some shit.
Schools need to.
Because I do believe 100% that the school system in America specifically is completely
school needs to completely reformat its syllabus. Complete reformat of its syllabus. Complete. I cannot tell it. The amount of things that have stuck with me from K through 12. That I learned in K through 12, the amount of things that stuck with me is what, in the single-digit percentage range. Mm-hmm. So I have maintained very little of everything that I've ever learned through school mm-hmm. in my regular life. Whereas on the other hand, I have learned so much by just experiencing life and figuring out what I need to do for myself.
Right. Okay.
That school never taught me that they very easily could have and really should. Boy in a Band, Don't Stay in School. I love that song to death. Mm-hmm. And the one line that I love from that so much is, can we discuss domestic abuse? Can we discuss... You'll cut that part out. Can we discuss domestic abuse and get the facts or help my depressed friend with a mental state? No, but learn mental math because you won't have a calculator with you every day. Mm-hmm. Hello.
Right.
So it's things like that. Movies and cinema can do so much more than
Absolutely.
Just entertain.
Exactly.
And inspire.
100%.
They can teach.
100%.
They can teach.
100%. But okay, so all right, you talk about the school. What about the parents? And then I do believe true. Some parents can fail that same lesson too. But
yeah, because they went through the same shitty education system that we did.
That's true.
So the difference is the timing. The difference is the timing. Our parents were taught what they needed for their time through school. Mm-hmm. We were taught what our parents needed for their time in school, but it was completely irrelevant to what we needed now.
Right, for sure.
So, and obviously some kids don't have an actual parent or guardian or whatever like that. They're going through some sort of adoption system or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. So that's where I say that movies and cinema have such an ability to step.
Power. I mean, damn near everything right now in the entertainment media world has such powerful impact to influence people.
Yes, and they are influencing
and music and all that, video games. I mean,
and they are influencing them in such a negative and toxic way. They're influencing them in such a cancerous way that I really believe that, going back to because the fact that this school shooting happened is the fault, it is at least partially, if not completely, or mostly, I'll say, the fault of mainstream media. He knew that he was going to be celebritized on mainstream media. That's why he did it, for the most part. Obviously, he had mental problems and everything like that. He was probably bullied or whatever. He had personal problems, but he also knew that he was going to get the attention that he so desperately craved, and he didn't care that it was a negative attention. He did not care. He just knew he was going to be celebritized. Going back to the original point, though, is that take the movie, I think it was called Crash. Mm-hmm. Where you had the police were having problems and everything like that. I watched that movie for the first time a month and a half, 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. Mind blowing. I don't get emotion. I don't hardly get emotionally invested in movies because of the fact that they are so astronomically out there. I just can't.
Right.
But this movie grabbed me in a way that I did not expect.
Right. Yeah.
And it's also a life lesson too. Mm-hmm. To not, jump the gun, to not, be judgmental or anything like that, to really make sure that you're grounded to the real world.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. So, all right, I like that answer. I think that's a pretty smart answer. All right, on for the next one.
Yes.
This one is an interesting one. Once again, let's keep it all brief.
Yep.
To diffuse the shock of nudity and sex. We've had conversations about this.
Yes.
Specifically, like trying to get like. Well, you go ahead and you explain your point to
yes.
this.
Well, actually, I'll just go ahead and jump right into video project that I recently shot. Not recently. I'm about ready to get done with the boudoir video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and whenever I say boudoir, I know that the first immediate thought with boudoir specifically is lingerie, but I'm taking it a step further than that and doing essentially what Playboy did.
Okay.
Whenever what Hugh Hefner did whenever he first started Playboy, is that sex and nudity is natural. It's normal. It's healthy, and it is being bashed into the ground like it is the devil with mainstream media so bad. YouTube and all the news outlets, and the fact that Facebook doesn't allow for nudity, technically. But it's completely normal, it's completely natural, and it needs to have a light shown on it so that way these teenagers that are discovering their bodies aren't so awkward about it and actually are educated about it to know how to properly deal with it, and that they're not ashamed of their, that a 13-year-old girl isn't ashamed for having D-sized cups or anything like that, and that we're not bullying people, and that we're simply accepting the fact that, I watch, like I just said, whenever I take a day to myself or something like that, I'm binging on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, well, that's one of the next ones. We'll get to that.
You
don't have to. Yeah, we'll get to that next point. But
okay,
so why do you think that the media is so bashful about nudity and sex? Why do you think so?
Control. It's straight up control. It's the fact that you have
true, but okay. Think about it this way. Think about. I mean, yes, sex and nudity is natural, but let's take the. They are two connected, but let's split them apart.
Okay.
For a second.
Okay.
Nudity is different. Nudity, people the way society, how people were born, just said, oh, those are the private parts and that kind of thing,
all that bullshit.
Kids and stuff though, if I my son or my daughter, if they saw just some random dude running down a hallway naked, I'm gonna be I'm gonna shield their fucking eyes because I'm what the hell is this? First of all, what the hell is this dude running down here naked out here like that? It's inappropriate, that kind of thing. And you know what I'm saying, that in that kind of way. Now we're talking about sex. Sex, of course, is a hard one because it's the action and it is an essential part of life.
Right.
But the simple fact of it is, you have pornography and stuff now that really it kind of, I wouldn't say desensitizes people towards that, but it's been put in a specific situation to where sex can be viewed kind of in a weird way.
I mean,
in mainstream media,
right?
Is what I'm saying.
I
don't know if it's a shock of it, but I just think that. I mean, in a way, there's a shock of it. In a way.
What the hell was her name? One of the Super Bowl halftime shows. Mm-hmm. Okay, Janet Jackson. Yeah. She had the nipple slip thing.
Right.
Good God, people flip their shit about that.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Right.
I mean, it was just because of the fact that she showed her nipple for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, give me a break.
Right.
It's shit like that. Now,
I think it's gotten a little less censored though than it has been
in certain ways.
In certain areas, it's kind of
certain ways,
off a bit.
But
but
and in other ways, it's gone complete opposite. In other ways, take the YouTube censorship thing or whatever like that. Take the fact that Lexi Pantera's twerk videos that she wears full-length leggings. Mm-hmm. Okay, she wears full-length, whatever the hell you want to call them, yoga pants, whatever. And twerk is a style of dance. Mm-hmm. It's shaking her butt, but at the same time, let's be honest, it's a body part. Mm-hmm. A finger is a body part. An ear is a body part. A toe is a body part. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that it has been completely, it's so overly sexualized, and that sexuality has been deemed as being inappropriate except for if you're 21 and over, or 18 and over, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is that you are effectively attempting, and a lot of times failing, at shielding these teenagers who are getting horny and not knowing what to do.
They'll find out through the internet.
That is the most horrible way for them to find out.
Not necessarily. Well, yeah, true. But
they need their
in mainstream media would be the best spot for them to find out either. You know what I mean?
Well, no, of course not.
The best way to find out is
through
proper knowledge, proper information from
a parent or guardian that will give them the basic, but not to shield them completely from nudity and sexuality, because of the fact that, like I said, it is normal, it is natural.
But then again, sex sells.
Yeah,
so think about that. So
there's also that flip side controversy that that you'll have these two female models that are that lifted breasts and everything like that. They're selling a Hardee's burger that's like literally bigger than their hand.
Right. I mean,
versus if a mother is breastfeeding on a park bench or whatever like that. Well, that's disgusting. You're an asshole. I mean, seriously, dear God. I'm not a feminist, and that can't. A lot of society today sees my viewpoint, that one that I just said, as a very feministic point of view. It's not. It's the hypocrisy of sex selling versus natural nudity.
I see what you're saying. So to end on this tweet,
yes,
just in one very quick sentence, explain what you're what you plan to do, or what you want to do to get these to work for you. So to prove that cycling, should be the main society or main mode of transportation. I'll be vlogging. What is your plan to make that point relevant to people?
Put it in my videos. Okay. I've got an action camera that I can mount on my bike, and I've used it a little bit to vlog my bike rides as shit is happening and everything like that. To also showcase the equipment that I'm using and everything like that, just the same as tech reviewer on YouTube or whatever like that would do.
Okay.
And to showcase the fact that initially, and especially whenever like me at first, my body was nowhere near as fit now as it was then. Whenever I first started out, it took me a while to get from point A to point B.
Right. So basically, you're saying that you just want to show it in your vlogs, but also I remember you said you had a little project that you wanted to do to explain more cycling. I think that could be a good thing. And
and that one's
just make it more public service announcements for that.
Right.
All right. So for the teaching point, what do you do? What will you do to kind of bring that point to
that? Is essentially kind of in the same sense that
I guess that answers itself through cinema.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. And specific stuff.
Writing out different scripts.
Any more very specific things though of how of a lesson you'd want to teach that school and parents don't fail.
Basically, just to not be an asshole. I mean, so many people just...
This is the age of trolling right now.
Yes.
We're in that age of trolling.
It really is. And it's because of the fact that, first of all, parents don't parent. And
Some.
Yeah. And I understand, the different... there's obviously a difference between, whenever someone's just having a bad day versus someone who is actually an asshole.
Right.
So it does everyone so much better in life in general whenever, last night we went through a McDonald's drive-thru and the lady in front of us, the people in front of us paid for our meal, didn't know us, didn't know what we ordered, just said, here, pay for it. Versus, whenever I work in the fuel center, that, this guy comes up, pays for gas, and goes back, and he's like, "It's not working. You screwed up again," and blah 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 blah. I'm like, done. You know, I fixed it. You know.
Cool. All right, and then the last one, to diffuse the shock of sex and nudity. How are you gonna do that? Good luck. What are you gonna do? Is your is your boudoir video gonna have? You think that'll have a good effect?
Yes.
Like I said, it really depends on the point you're proving and how you push to promote it.
It's a very,
like I said, the way you promote that and push that and execute it is everything. If you push out in a way that doesn't look good, people are gonna look at you in a very negative light.
Oh, I
so
very much.
How do you feel like you can diffuse the shock of nudity and sex, which is a tough one?
By
mainstream media.
By showcasing by showing it in its most natural state, not in the pornographic sense of look at my vagina as I'm spreading my legs and playing with myself or anything like that.
Okay. No, but yeah, I definitely get what you're saying.
But
in that realm.
Because porn is one of my genres that I enjoy to watch, and just like any other genre out there, crime drama, sci-fi, whatever.
Is porno a genre? I guess.
Yeah.
Well.
And that's kind of actually that is literally the title of one of my other video projects that I have in mind.
Is porno a genre? That's the
porn
title?
is the title is literally porn is just another genre. That somewhat
okay.
I have a girl that wakes up.
Maybe you should be a director in the porn world or something.
I'm gonna walk both worlds.
All right, this goes great for our last tweet. It says, I like to watch tech videos on YouTube, thrillers on Netflix, dramedy shows on Prime, and lesbian porn. Lesbian porn on whatever website I can find.
Yeah, because...
Throw in some music while I'm making meals between whatever I'm watching, and that's what I consider a good break from my routine. Now, hold on. When I saw this tweet, I'm going to be honest, I was like, Blake, what the fuck are you tweeting, bro? What are you tweeting? I was like, this dude is flat out he's out there, fuck it, put it out there.
I posted that for the same reason why anyone else would post about any other TV show they're watching that, oh my god, I can't believe that, Leroy Jethro Gibbs.
True, but I'll be honest with you.
That's my message.
A random guy can say, hey, I love Ed and Eddie, or I love that 70s show, but I don't know if they're going to name their favorite porn.
And you want to know why? It's because of the fact that they know that they would be judged. Even though...
Yeah.
I'm taking not giving a shit.
But also the title of it, I like such and such. I'm not going to name some stuff. But, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know.
That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it.
I get your point. I get it.
But,
I thought it was just hilarious. Lesbian
Did I just throw it in there like that? Well, guess what? As far as I'm concerned, if I put it in the beginning or the end, it doesn't help to diffuse. I have to put it in the middle.
Yeah.
I have to kind of sneak it in without sneaking it in.
I think that's hilarious. But it's
for the same reason why someone would say I love.
Do you have a fascination of porn or something do you like? Obviously, I think a lot of guys.
No, not at all. I absolutely hate it. I think it's the devil. That's why I watch it so much.
But all right. Out of all the stuff, what do you watch the most out of everything here? YouTube, Netflix, Prime, or porn?
Honestly, it just depends on what I'm in the mood for. That's
an answer. That's an answer.
Porn creates a reaction to you in the same way that a thriller does.
Okay, so this is about to be super off topic real fast, but I know you have a girlfriend and stuff.
Yes.
We
watch porn together.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. So how okay, that's interesting. I don't even know what to say here. Wow. Okay. I mean, does she? Oh, man.
You want to get to more specifics.
I do, but I don't. I do, but I don't.
You're fascinated by this because of the fact that you're not used to it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I understand it.
Now,
but that's why I'm doing it.
I see that. I get that.
Okay.
And I think what you're doing is a very bold and oddly noble thing to do. I do believe it. It just caught me off guard when I saw it.
Clearly,
I did not expect you to just openly say, "Hey, I like lesbian porn" or that kind of thing.
and that's why I'm doing it.
Now STEFON's vlogs. People know that this is not like a family channel. So this is my platform. I am allowed to say whatever in my mind. So I guess, all right. So I guess lesbian porn is obviously the favorite genre in porn that you like the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you walk into a strip club, and you see two dancers on the stage going at it in whatever way you want to say they're going at it, aside from, beating the hell out of each other. You are more likely to stay than if you have one dancer that's dancing for a bunch of dudes.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong? Same concept, a little bit different level, but still the same basic concept.
Okay, so I mean that's something. That is something. You guys watch porn together. I mean, I don't.
Occasionally, because the thing is that it doesn't always work out sometimes. Cause
what do you mean doesn't work out?
Well, like if we're over at her house, for example,
right?
We've got the privacy, but we don't have any Wi-Fi, so we have to use data and. So, but if we're at my house, we have the Wi-Fi, but we don't have the privacy.
Wow.
So it's a
man.
give and take here.
Oh,
and
this is great. Okay, so damn, that's funny. I think that's hilarious.
I know why you think it's funny. But
I mean, like, okay, I mean, like. I don't want to know how it goes down. I think that I have to wait until I do have another like segment I want to do with couples and stuff that I want to do, but that'll be some other time.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, I guess like how.
How do we get it on?
No. Like, how does that come? How long have you been dating in a relationship for?
2 years.
2 years.
Next month, something like that.
Did she already know that you were into it, or did you guys just like speak on it one time and said, "Hey, let's do this together"? I mean, that seems like it's a relationship kind of conversation.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, what we did was we dated for 3 months or something like that, and for the last part of those 3 months that we were unofficial relationship status, we kind of
spoke on it.
Well, what we did was we covered more of the deeper personal topics to see what each other's reaction was going to be.
Yeah.
And that one.
And it just kind of came to the part where you're like, all right, like, hey, like.
Yeah.
Let's.
And I thought. To
I
myself,
guess that's a couple thing. I don't know.
I thought to myself, I says, if this is going to be serious, then she definitely needs to know more about me than what I'd be willing to tell most people, and quite honestly, even my family. Mm-hmm. So the one night I decided to go for broke, and showed her that I have at that point I had 2 Twitter accounts. Mm-hmm. I had one that was for the. Following different content creators and the motivational stuff.
And you have another one.
And then I had another one that was straight up porn. And I showed her that. And
wow.
I showed.
You still have 2 Twitter accounts?
No, I melded the 2 together.
Oh.
Yeah, because
I guess that's what you would do.
Because I'm not sure if you didn't see it or if you just didn't include it or whatever. But basically, I said on Twitter, I says, you know what? I'm tired of hiding the fact that I like porn. If you don't like porn and you don't like me because I like porn, then
I think everybody likes it. I'm not gonna say everybody, but at least every male probably.
For the most part, it is liked. Hence the reason why it is a $1 billion business at this point.
Cool, and that brings me to my next and last kind of point about that is, like. So you said you would be interested in like actually like directing or filming a porno one time.
Oh yeah, I've got a full actual script written up for a lesbian porn. Yeah, okay. I've got one written up for that one. I've got one written up for a horror that will probably put both Dexter and Saw to shame.
Oh, geez.
You know,
all right. You ever heard of a rapper named Young M.A.?
No.
Well, she's a lesbian. She's a great rapper though from New York, and like she actually directed a porno not too long ago, which is funny. But and then also like this goes on to the part of being behind the scenes and being in front of the camera. Like, would you ever like want to get paid for like making your own porno of you and your girl or something?
Oh wow, you pulled that shit from Facebook.
Facebook? Well, no, that's a real question though. I don't even fucking look at the memes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because my girlfriend sent me that meme just the other day from Facebook saying, if you were paid $300 billion, would you make a sex tape with your significant other? And she sent that to me. I'm thinking, what? What?
Well, okay, despite the meme, forget the meme. I'm just saying, would you do it though?
Okay.
For whatever amount of money, I guess.
Hell yeah. That kind of money, I could make a shitload of videos and still have enough left over for the rest of my life.
Oh, man. This guy, man, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy.
Here's the thing, is that everyone's like, oh my god, you're going to put that on the internet, everyone's going to see it. Well, guess what? If you put a porno up on the internet, only certain adult websites would support it. If someone of your family member sees that and is absolutely just outraged by it, what were you doing on that website in the first place? Called you on your shit. Called you on your hypocrisy. You know, same logic, different scenario. Okay? Whenever I was shooting at Miami Beach Team Club for their promo videos. This is a horrible segue. Talking about porn, and then all of a sudden I jumped at a teen club. God!
Alright, well, despite all that, just to keep everything short.
But anyway, no, I still want to make this point, is that, you know, I'm shooting in this teen club, and this girl's dancing, I start, you know, getting her own camera, and she's, no, I don't want my parents to see this. I'm like, if your parents see this, I would have questions for them, because it's not something that you could that would just literally pop up like a promo ad or whatever like that on their Facebook page. I'm putting it, at the time I was putting it up on YouTube, under specific niches. If your parents are looking at those niches, they probably have problems with their own. Same point.
Or someone sees it and says, hey, here's your daughter, type thing.
Yeah. It's like, well,
but, okay.
Gee, Dad, how did you know I was in A Girl's Gone Wild?
I see what you're saying.
I would love to see what the father's reaction to that would be. That would be hilarious to me. It's like,
you want to be the next Hugh Hefner, don't you? Like a Hugh Hefner kind of guy.
Yes, that is one. That is one aspect of my whole.
I want to be the Hugh Hefner, the cycler, the Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I commend you.
Yeah.
All right. Now to bring it all back to the closing and stuff,
Yes.
I'm gonna mix these two questions in one. They're kind of the same question. Where do you want to take your work in the future, and what exactly do you have planned next for your business, BAM videos, and all of the creations you have? What is next for you?
I can answer those two questions in one. Travel.
Traveling is super important.
I want to travel with friends to different places, not just, you know, different cities in America, but all around the world. I want to be able to do that and really share the world with the world.
The only way you'll be able to do that is not with a bike, okay? you go need a plane or a car. But
I'll do a car. That's part of the reason why it is that I'm biking, is because of the fact that it's more financially stable and I can save up that money for a car rental.
Oh. Car rental, shit, get a car. I mean, yeah, whatever, car rental's fine too.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue. What do you have planned next then? What is the next plan for Blake Mihavics?
Specifically, what I have planned right now is that, like I said, I'm working on getting a team together for travel, which definitely want you to be a part of that, and we'll work out details on a later date. What I want to do is I've got a project. I've got the boudoir video that is currently being color graded by a friend, and I'll have that up on my Vimeo channel for a price tag. I don't know what it is going to be yet. It's still kind of in debate because the girl that I shot that with wants a cut. I'm like, okay, that boosts the price a little bit because I still want what I want.
I think I told you about that.
Yeah.
I told you, man.
So, you know, but I get it, and I'll respect it, and it's a balancing act of I want a certain amount, but I know that my audience, I don't really have an audience.
You got an audience, I'm sure.
But, so, you know, I kind of have I got a shitload of projects that I'm wanting to get off the ground.
Just taking time and get it done.
Taking the time that I need to really figure out the steps I need to do to get them done. Mm-hmm. And eventually I want to have my business, have my video production business in such a way that I literally jump from making the next biggest music video with a band or a performer, rapper, music artist, whatever, and then the next day I'm going to go shoot a kid's birthday party. You know, I want to be able to cover all of it.
Last note on that, just so you know.
Yeah.
If you go off and do a porno, shoot a porno, you won't be shooting any birthday parties anymore. Just know that's gonna happen.
I'm gonna find a way to walk.
There's certain things you're going to do.
I'm gonna find a way to walk both worlds. I'm going to find a way.
You better change your name to Bam Videos to Kablam Videos or some shit.
I'm gonna find a way to walk both worlds. And that's the thing is that
happen.
you know the different porn stars that I follow on Twitter and everything like that. The majority of them just can't get work in like basically any other genre of movie because of the fact they've already been in the porn industry anyway.
Right.
What the hell? I mean,
all I'm saying is, man, it's a tough one. If you can do it, I'll clap it. But other than that, that's a tough one. But anyway, to end it all, all your social media stuff, so everybody who's on my channel and stuff can follow you and whatnot. What kind of where you at on social media? And I'll make sure to link them somewhere on the screen frame here.
Right. Yeah.
But
right here.
Somewhere. Somewhere. So what are all your social medias?
Instagram, definitely the best place to find all the previews to any video that I make ever for the
all the
foreseeable.
Tweets too. He puts his tweets on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
that's why I screenshotted them.
Yeah, I screenshot my own tweets and then
put them on Instagram. Why do you do that, by the way? That's an interesting question.
Grow my following.
Yes, but I mean, Instagram is not usually for that. It's usually for the visual aesthetic. Not really the literature. I don't call it literature, but
essentially I'm converting literature into the visual.
Not the stats. I see what you mean. Makes sense.
Makes
sense. But
I figured I would do what I can to really grow my audience until I actually have a good amount of content to be able to put out.
Right. Okay. So Instagram. What is your Instagram username?
Instagram username is I know it's Blake Allen M. I don't remember if it's either periods or if it's under.
Yeah, I'll find it and put it in Instagram. What's your Twitter username?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Same thing. Blake Allen M. It's either periods or underscore, something like that.
And where can they find your business, BAM Videos? Any websites? Facebook? Yeah, what's your Facebook? Facebook page, BAM Videos, right?
Yeah, Facebook page, BAM Videos.
Any websites?
No website. And then, of course, my Vimeo channel, which is Blake Allen M. Spaces.
YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I'll make sure to link it still, just in case.
Yeah, I mean... you might as well, because there's no telling.
Right.
YouTube can get their shit together tomorrow. You know.
I doubt it.
But yeah, me too.
Exactly. So,
I doubt it.
Right, cool. Yeah. So, awesome. That is the interview. Thank you, Blake, for being on, being the guest here and whatnot, and having a good conversation. I'm sure we'll have many more conversations and many more projects that we'll be collaborating on eventually.
Yeah. Looking forward to round number 2 with this.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's great. It's great to have these vlogs and interviews. It's good to mesh 2 audiences together and just have a nice conversation. That's what this is all about.
Definitely.
for me to interview and just speak with other creators and just have a natural conversation about who they are and then how I can relate to some of these things and how you can relate to some of these what I go through, that kind of stuff. So thank you once again, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to his YouTube channel, and go follow his Vimeo page. Go follow my Vimeo page.
Please have your attention. The library will close in 30 minutes.
And it does it again.
May I please have your attention? The library will close in 30 minutes.
Okay. So with that being said, guys, thank you. Signing off. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button on STEFON Vlogs and on SW Films and on his YouTube channel and on his Vimeo page. Go follow all his social media stuff. Any last things, any last words you want to say to the audience right now before we sign off?
Absolutely. Go out and don't be a dick.
Go out and don't be a dick. You heard it from him, guys. Thank you once again. Peace out. And remember, at SW Films, every vision is made with cinematic excellence.